It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazawey. Let's talk some sports.
And welcome to Ermanni Edwards or with Maz, but my name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermanni today. Braylon Edwards up here on the desk, Tom Mazawey, we got JB, we got Fletch, and we got a Victory Monday in the building!
Detroit Lions win. Lions win. Oh, Lions win. I repeat, the Detroit Lions win. Hey, Stick, but before we get into the Detroit Lions, because we will be able to give them the flowers for 2 hours. Hang out with us, woodwardsports.com. Let's start with something non-sports related, man. You know what? There's something going on right now in the state of Michigan, actually in the country, that is a game changer, man.
What is it?
And Flex.
Election Day?
And JB. Well, that's coming Thursday.
Thank God that's over. Tomorrow.
It's Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday, yep.
Yeah, I said Tuesday for you guys out there. You see this right here?
Uh-oh.
You see this little ticket right here?
Yeah?
You see this little ticket right here? This little ticket right here can change my life, ladies and gentlemen. $20 can get you $1.9 billion. Stick, if you won the lottery for $1.9 billion, here, by the way, I don't ever play the lottery.
I'm not a lottery guy either.
I can't get into it. My dad used to play a lot of lottery when I was younger, but, you know, I said $1.9 billion. Yeah, just give me 10 randoms. I got 10 randoms right here. I see a couple 17s on here. You know that's my lucky number.
Oh, yeah.
What would you do with $1.9 billion, which would roughly translate in a lump sum to around, if I remember correctly,
800.
Yeah, 800. 800 million after lump and tax. What would 800 million do for you?
I mean, this is simple. It's the same answer I've had. I buy freedom. I go do what I want. Not going to buy a house. Not going to do all that. I'm traveling the world for the rest of my life, just living it and experiencing life. That's all I want to do with that.
Buy a few houses.
800 million. Yeah. I need you to at least get one home. 800 million.
No,
I need a house.
I'll be the first 800 millionaire that's homeless.
That will get you. Will have to have a home base though.
No, Grant Cardone tells you don't buy a home if you're that rich. Just rent. Just rent. So I'll rent homes all over the planet.
Right.
I'll rent boats. I'll rent jets. I won't buy a damn thing. I'll live without any baggage, but I'll just have my bag. But be 800 million in the bank.
That's true, but you always gotta have a home base. Like everybody that has billions, you gotta have that one place.
Okay.
Like, all right, you gotta have that $20 million home.
That I'd finally
somewhere.
get the home I want in Palmer Park.
There we go.
Or right there on the Detroit golf course.
Okay,
that's what
DGC.
I want.
Okay, I like golf side.
Yeah, I love those brick homes. I love the architecture. Love the history of them. So yeah, that would be the dream home that I have.
Mass, 800 billion after the lump sum, buddy. What are we doing?
Well, taking care of the family.
Oh, 100%.
All my family, all my friends.
Yeah, you know I'm part of that family,
of
correct?
course.
Okay, I'm just making
Anyone
sure.
I've come in contact with that treated me good will get treated back.
Okay.
That's the first thing.
I like that.
First thing. Definitely have a home here in Michigan, have a home in Jersey, and have a home on the coast in California, maybe one in Florida. Yeah, maybe rentals, like you said, Sick. But I'm going to go out and get myself a beautiful car, maybe a couple of them.
There you go.
Let me go back into the 60s, get myself a Corvette, but update it.
Wow.
Put some backup cameras and whatever the hell else. Just make it like it's today. But I definitely want one of them. And hell, man, like you said, I'm buying freedom.
That's it.
I'm done.
That's all we work for, right? Is freedom.
I'm going to go to sports all over the country.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm going to go do whatever the hell I want. Maybe I'll buy a season ticket to every team.
Yeah. I think.
I don't know.
What would I do? I would put $200 million into a fund that just supports different, charities, philanthropic causes, endeavors. Whether
Look
it's
at you, man.
I just left, the CS My Children Hospitals event on Saturday. So I've always been into philanthropy as well. So $200 million that definitely will go into a kitty annuity and be able to pay that to different charities, etc. Now, $600 million. I'm taking $100 million and buying an island. Like the hell,
I love that.
I'm doing it big.
I love that.
When I was
Tiger Woods Island, Tiger Woods and Brady's Island.
Remember the NFL lockout in 2011? I spent a month in St. Thomas. And if you're in St. Thomas, St. John is literally a boat ride away. St. Croix is a boat ride away. Puerto Rico's down the street. St. Bart's is down the way, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I was out there for a month, man. I didn't use my phone. I didn't think about home. I wasn't thinking about, what chicks I'm trying to hang out with when I get back to New York. Like, it literally was just like the island. It was free. It was hanging out, with sandals. And
Richard
who
Branson
wears
got
sandals? I was wearing sandals when I was in the island, so I would buy.
I'd go barefoot.
I buy an island, and I spent a lot of time just away, aloof. I like disappear. You would see me like once a year.
Oh, you would see me everywhere. You'd see me on top of the Eiffel Tower. You'd see me.
I go dark, man. No, I wouldn't even have this anymore. Like no social, no anything.
Yeah. Man,
Yeah,
I'd scrub it all.
what a dream, though, honestly.
Yeah.
To whoever wins the lotto.
I hope a lot of people win it.
You do hope, but you
I always want the one.
one guy who
I always
really
want
needs
the
it.
one.
Have you seen those lotto stories though that these people win and then
they go
going
broke.
broke because they're
I know.
stupid?
That's stupidity.
It's because you don't know how to manage money. Most people playing the lottery are living check to check.
Right.
They don't understand financial literacy. They don't understand how to, put it in savings and let the money work for you. It's like, oh, let me get this and this. And then you realize the cost of living when you're worth a certain amount of money. That's why Biggie said it best. More money, more problems.
Yeah, well, you see it all the time, like in a lot of comments in the WoodwardSports.com chat about what they're going to do. A lot of people liking the freedom. I see Mike G, $1.9 billion will buy Fish, a nice lady.
Oh,
There we go.
mail order bride. There you go.
I mean, I could get them a much cheaper one, about $42 on 8 Mile Fish. If like, I can hook you up with that. We don't need billions.
But is she tested? That's how. $42.
Hey, listen, I don't need details on this.
Okay,
He said he
this
wanted
is
a
true.
woman, I get him a woman.
I zip it up.
Kirby Joseph wins the lotto. Mike G says he could win it all.
Well,
And,
technically, that would mean the Detroit Lions won.
Yeah.
With him.
Turks and Caicos, that's what Quentin
It's a fun
would
place.
buy from the
Put in Turks and
WoodwardSports.com
Caicos.
chat.
Yeah, you're not buying Turks and Caicos with $100 million.
But I love the idea of buying an island.
Yeah.
I love being secluded. I love having your peace and all
Yeah.
that. So yeah, I just, like I said, I just want my freedom. I just want to be able. You know what? Today I'm going to Thailand at noon. Hey,
You-
Jerome, get the jet.
Why is his name Jerome? I like that. That's cool. Like Jerome.
I was thinking of Bruno
Prince.
Mars.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Julio.
yeah.
He was saying Julio. Hey, Julio.
Oh, yeah.
He was stretch.
It's perfect because he was remaking Prince,
Yeah.
Jerome off Purple Rain.
Purple rain.
But anyway, we're getting off track. Stink. Come on, man. You know what today is? Victory Monday. Talk about it, buddy.
Oh man, I have not stopped talking about it. I mean, last night or after the Lions game, the post game show at the
Don't
Brass
be trying
Rail.
to take my ticket, by the way. I'm leaving right here.
The post game show at the Brass Rail was absolutely crazy.
Surprised you made it.
People started flooding. I drank a whole bottle of champagne on
There we
camera.
go.
Had some blue Kool-Aid shots, and no, it just feels good, man. Like, you know me, I don't give up on this squad as
Right.
easy as
No, you
everybody
don't.
else.
No, you
And,
don't.
there's a lot of people that were in the chat earlier saying, hey, Adam Baydoun owes Dan Campbell an apology for calling it like, hey, the guy should work at McDonald's. The guy's
Right.
not a good coach. He could never be in the NFL. Terry Foster then doubled down on that, saying, he didn't really do a damn thing. But, sometimes all you need is one thing to click.
Yeah.
And you need the locker room to believe. And that creates a whole different team that was there 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Because that's beaten down team. That's a we can't get it done team. Now, we just beat Aaron Rodgers. We did this. They're
Right.
talking amongst themselves in a different way. So, to me, it's an NFL win. I celebrate every single NFL win for the Lions. And the bad part is Woodward Sports has been here almost 3 seasons. This is our 5th win we've got to celebrate.
Yeah, as you should. The Lions don't win a lot, so you got to celebrate when they win.
Lions fans.
This is how I'm going to approach today. I feel like throughout the 9 weeks of the NFL season so far, there's been a lot of, dishing it out to the Lions, to Dan Campbell, to Aaron Glenn, to everybody on the defensive staff, to certain players. So you know what I'm going to do today, Stick? I'm not going to talk about how depleted the Green Bay Packers team was.
Yep.
I'm not going to talk about Aaron Rodgers playing his worst game in his career. I'm not going to talk about any of that. All I'm going to talk about is in the NFL, a win is a win.
That's right.
Is a win. This is a tough place to play. Look at a lot of teams yesterday that wish they would have a 6-point win to a conference rival and a divisional rival. So you know what? Let's focus on the positive. This is the positive in what I saw yesterday. Simply put, when DeAndre Swift is on the field, the Detroit Lions are a whole different team. When DeAndre Swift
For those
is
3 plays.
but
And
look
he
how
showed
it
out,
looked.
though.
Yeah.
But look how it
For
looked.
those 3 plays, they look really good.
When DeAndre Swift is on the field, the Lions are just a different field. He runs. He looks like an NFL running back.
He is.
He can catch out of the backfield. His speed is there. That run up the sideline. You saw the burst of speed, even though his shoulder and his knee are messed up. When he got pushed after the play, I said, "Oh Lord, there it is. He's injured again." But when he's in there, the Lions are a different team. Two. looks like Brad Holmes may know what the hell he's doing, because Kerby Joseph is a monster. And it's so funny because before the game, I always give out, people ask me my takes on the game so they can use it at the bar or use it wherever, and I'm like, I'm saying, watch out for Kerby Joseph and Aiden Hutchinson today. I said, like, this is one of those games that, Green Bay's not that good on offense. So watch out for Kerby Joseph and guess what? Between the two of them, they had 3 interceptions. Kerby Joseph is athletic. He is intentful, and also, man, he just knows where the ball is going to be. Now, we get it. We get it. So we're not going to talk about how bad Green Bay was, just how good the Lions were yesterday. Kerby Joseph is a great player, man. That's another one of those picks. You look at Kerby Joseph starting to show something. You look at Mitchell caught a touchdown right after Hockenson. So you look at
a 5th-round pick.
A 5th-round pick. You look at Aiden Hutchinson. Your number 1 makes a play.
Shane Zylstra, the 2 tight ends.
There you go.
That they used to replace Hockenson. Both scored. By the way, Hawk got 75 yards.
You know what the Lions did yesterday? They pulled an anti-Lions. Normally when the Lions are playing, it's the other team's rookies that are having career days or bust-out games.
It's a Bizarro Lions.
It was the Bizarro. It was Mustache Maz Lions. That's exactly what it was. It was dark-haired Maz Lions, because they just showed Maz, you better dye that back, too, because if they're on a win streak with that darkness.
I haven't touched it.
We need the darkness, baby.
I'm just going to keep scrubbing until it's back to normal.
But honestly, normally we're thinking about, the Vikings have this rookie starting, and, he got 2 interceptions. The Vikings drafted their number 2 overall pick. He's showing out.
K9 in Seattle when he came in here.
Yeah, but this is what happens with the Lions yesterday. You saw it come to fruition. Like you said, Kerby Joseph, and he's a ball hawk because he was a wide receiver.
Yep.
And
it's like Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah, and talk to me about that. As a wide receiver, your whole life, right?
Yeah.
All you're worried about is catching the ball. How much easier is it to just swat it? And all I got to do is get a piece of the ball, because it totally changes your angles. It totally changes when you jump, because you're not trying to just always intercept the ball. You're just trying to interfere with it. And coming from being a wide receiver transitioning to a DB, that has to help you.
Oh, 100%. I mean, you look at what Trayvon Diggs is, that the one reason why, part of Trayvon Diggs last year is he's getting 11, 12 interceptions, but he also is giving up 1,100 yards because he's a former wide receiver, which means he knows the routes. He knows the depths. He knows the down and distance. He knows what routes the guys are probably going to run. He knows the anticipation.
Knows how to watch their hips and what angles they're going to take.
Exactly.
Right?
It's third and 7. It's going to be something breaking around 10 to 11 yards. To break on that, depending on if it's the field or to the boundary, what it's going to be. So when you got a guy in Kerby Joseph that used to play wide receiver, that has those wide receiver abilities and skills, not only is he breaking on the ball to knock it down, like, he's anticipating where the ball is going to be, and he's going to intercept it. He's looking to get the interception to get the turnover. Swatting the ball is one thing, but when you swat the ball a lot of time, they can still end up with a field goal.
Yeah.
But when you get the interception, you take the whole possession from him. So it was good to see Kerby Joseph make plays. It was good to see young Lions making plays, and it was good to see Brad Holmes seems to be on touch with the pulse.
Yeah, and there was Brad Holmes slander last week. I was hearing it from multiple people. Brad Holmes said, Maz, I got to call you out for this, always calling him out for drafting injured players and stuff like that he hasn't done a good job drafting.
Yeah, he's had a good couple of weeks.
But that's not a reflection of a good couple weeks, man. That's a reflection of a good couple drafts, which take years in the making.
Just the kids are getting to play now, so they're getting to play. They're getting to get the
and they're getting coached right.
It helps that the Lions are as bad as they are to get these kids in the game and to get them some reps, because next year is when you really want to start competing.
Yeah, well, Aaron Rodgers had some fun words to say after the game about playing the Detroit Lions. Jared Goff had things to say. Dan Campbell, proud of the defense. Corey Joseph and all that. We're going to get to all of those comments coming up next right here on WoodwardSports.com.
Too bad Kerby Joseph's his college team didn't fare the same as he.
They could have used them.
Yeah, they could have.
Well, we're speaking of Kerby Joseph. We're speaking of great defense, so that means we're speaking about Guardian Alarm.
Yes, sir.
They are the defenders. They are the Kerby Joseph of your house.
Hey.
They will keep people
100%.
out of the end zone where people are trying to score. Okay, so maybe if you're trying to score in your house, Kerby Joseph not the guy to have there. But either way, Guardian Alarm will make it happen for you, make you have that peace of mind. And all you got to do is call 1-800-STAY-OUT. That is 1-800-STAY-OUT right now. And you can get that Kerby Joseph coverage
100%.
for Guardian Alarm.
Ooh, Kerby Joseph.
The Sports Marketing Agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization, we serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Hey, everybody, for a limited time only at Big Boy, you got to get down there and get the loaded fries and those new burgers. Let's start with the burgers. It's not the Slim Jim anymore. It's called Big Jim. So got to get down there, bring your appetite with you. How about the bacon blue burger or the chili cheeseburger and those fries? You got to start to dress them up a little bit. No more plain fries. You go with the chili cheese fries, the nacho fries, or the baked potato fries. Satisfy those taste buds with Big Boy.
Can't lose a game like that against that team, though. So that's going to hurt for a while.
And there he is, the crybaby himself. It's WoodwardSports.com. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermanni today. That is Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey with us, along with JB and Fletch. You know what, Aaron Rodgers? Funny part is, you guys are that team. You're the team on a 5-game losing streak. You're the team that has no offense to be heard of.
Tell him why you're mad, Stick.
I'm mad because Aaron Rodgers, everything's caught up to your ass. Everybody thought you were a great quarterback once upon a time because you got one Super Bowl, what was that, over a decade ago? What have you done since then besides drive that entire franchise into the ground? They're in cap hell. They drafted a rookie quarterback and they've wasted his entire rookie contract.
They're in talent hell.
You show up late to training camp. You don't get the OTAs with your new wide receivers and then expect them to show up on game time knowing what the hell to do.
You publicly dish your GM. You publicly dish your head coach on Jeopardy, mind you. You play the game with, I might retire, I might not, I might get married, I don't know. Like, he has held them hostage. And this is a good question, Stick. They're the only team that's not owned by a group or a majority owner. They are owned by the Green Bay Packers fan base. Everybody owns 0.011% or whatever. I guarantee you, if they had an owner, if they had a Robert Kraft, if they had a Jerry Jones, they wouldn't be in the same space that they've been in the last 2.5 years because owners wouldn't let a player take complete autonomy.
Yeah, and I'd like to think if the Detroit Lions ever won a Super Bowl, whoever that quarterback was, I would give them lenience. I don't know if I give them 12 years of lenience.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers, we joked about this a couple years ago. Now that Matthew Stafford has his Super Bowl, who's had the better career? Matthew Stafford, arguably, he's played on a worse team, put up better stats, and did it without any help. Then he went to another team. He got the same amount of Super Bowls as Aaron Rodgers now. Like, Aaron Rodgers' career went from him arguably being a top 5 guy, mid. Now he's mid-pack, maybe 15, maybe.
Aaron Rodgers still got 4 MVPs. Let's not sleep.
He's put me to sleep. His play put me to sleep.
Thank you.
100%. Now, I'm not going to say
you can't talk on quarterback greatness.
I'm not going to sit up here.
You bash Brady.
I'm not going to sit up here and diss the individualism of Aaron Rodgers. But in terms of team game, you're 100% right. He won a Super Bowl. It was 12 years ago. When he gets to the dance, he gets to the NFC Championship. He can't close the deal, whether it's at Green Bay, whether it's whatever. Hasn't been able to close the deal. Now, in terms of his comments and saying you can't lose that team, well, I don't mind that comment from the standpoint. The Lions are 1-6 going into that game. The Lions were 3-13-1 last year. Everybody's been calling for Dan Campbell's head. Aaron Glenn almost was under the knife a couple weeks ago. So I understand what he meant by that comment. I don't have a problem with that. But everything you said after that comment is correct.
Did you ever play with a pouty little bitch quarterback like that, where every throw that wasn't complete, he's rolling his eyes, he's shrugging his shoulder, he's on the bench? Brady's got how many Super Bowls, man?
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it doesn't, because that's exactly
the
conversation.
Why are you yelling? Can I get a word in?
No,
because
that's exactly the conversation that we were having.
Someone turn his mic off.
That's exactly the conversation.
He's dissing Aaron Rodgers. The best quarterback in the last 12 years.
The best quarterback.
No,
he hasn't won a damn thing in 12 years.
That's Patrick Mahomes. Just throwing that out there.
Come on, man.
All right, I'm done. Have fun. Enjoy the show.
No, but that's what we were talking about before the show is when you're winning, you can forgive Aaron Rodgers for being the way he is, for screwing all his teammates, for blaming everybody else, for throwing those temper tantrums. But when you're a loser like he's been at least the past 5 years.
Holy crap, what am I listening to? They're a top 3 team every year. This is the first hiccup they've had in 15 years.
What are you talking about, Maz?
Are you here today?
They were
Are you on the same planet as me?
Do you really think Aaron Rodgers is still good?
Of course he is. He's having a down few weeks.
He's definitely now.
He has nobody to throw to.
Now I said,
now you're sounding like Aaron Rodgers.
It's a fact.
Now I literally said that I was taking the gloves off and I was just going to talk about the Detroit Lions and what they did good. I wasn't going to talk about what Green Bay did and blah blah blah. But if you want to go there, I do have to drop knowledge. You can't have 7 drop passes by your wide receivers in a game in which you should win. You just can't have that happen. Aaron Rodgers had 7 drop passes, 3 were touchdowns, and the other ones were all
and
first
down. And how many
down.
he leave short, though?
And that's I was going there. Like, this isn't one of those games. Like, the one thing about this season so far is it's been the young wide receivers. It's been the lack of a running game. It's been bad defense by the Green Bay Packers. But it hasn't been Aaron Rodgers until yesterday. Yesterday, finally, it was not only his wide receivers, it was not only his defense, it was him as well, because Aaron Rodgers definitely missed 4 throws that would have won the game, each and every one of them. So he had a bad game yesterday, but he's been struggling this year, but the only reason I have no sympathy for him is because guess who made that bid? Aaron Rodgers made that bid, so now he has to land it. But
and we can talk about the drops all day, but can we talk about the interceptions?
Yeah, I mean,
how about a red zone interception at the 1 yard line? That's rookie stuff, Aaron Rodgers. And who are you going to blame that on?
Yeah.
Who's he going to cry and blame? That's all. I'm just so sick of this guy. And every play, mumbling to himself, like throwing, like, dude, shut up. Maybe show up to OTAs and help your young wide receivers.
How do you know he's not just mad at himself, Stick?
Huh?
How do you know he's not mad at himself?
Because of his post-game comments. Because of, if you can't get the plays right, you don't need to be playing for this team. Well, that's funny, Aaron Rodgers. Look in the mirror, and then maybe we should be starting Jordan Love. Because you ain't making the plays. You're throwing interceptions. You're rolling out to your right and throwing it short down the field when you're wide. Even the play that Okudah got burnt on and they got the fumble on that they didn't quite recover. Yeah. That was a horrible throw. It just happened to be inside to where the wide receiver was able to fall and get it.
You hate Aaron Rodgers, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's awful. He's an awful human being. He's an awful teammate. He's driven that franchise into the ground. And
driven into the ground? They've been one of the best 3 teams in football for 12, 13 years.
What have you done for me lately?
It's just this year, idiot.
And is that lately? Is that lately? Or are we just going to sit on his Super Bowl from 12 years ago and anoint him that he's good?
Maz, what I would say...
You're out of line, man.
Maz, what I would say to this is you need to take a little bias out of it. You act like you're Aaron Rodgers' father or his agent. I will say this. I will push back on Stick saying that, he's not Aaron Rodgers. He is Aaron Rodgers. I've seen Aaron Rodgers still make some throws this year. I've seen him still put his team in positions to win, but there's been some struggle with the integrity and the chemistry of this team. And yesterday was the first day that he himself had a bad game. Now, if you want to talk about what Stick says in terms of driving them into the ground, for the last 2.5 years, Aaron Rodgers kind of had complete autonomy and control over this team. Whatever he's wanted to do, he's done. Whatever he's wanted to play with or dance with, he's done. Whoever he wanted to bring in, he's been able to bring in. Whoever he didn't want to bring in, they kept at bay. You look at Davante Adams, and everybody's like, well, one guy doesn't decide a team. Well, in this case, it does when it's the best wide receiver in the league, and we now live in a world where you got to have a wide receiver and a quarterback to make it happen. He had every chance to solidify and to keep Davante Adams. He had 2.5 years. Like, after he came back, like the whole time he was dancing around with retirement or doing Jeopardy, there's one person he should have been talking to, and that should have been Davante Adams. And we know for a fact that he wasn't talking to Davante Adams.
I'm not defending what he's done.
No,
because he's not.
It sounds like you're defending him a lot.
No, and that's why
I'm defending one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever lace up the
and that's what I'm saying.
cleats.
He's no longer considered that.
Okay.
He's not.
He has you. He's throwing to you.
Sure.
Alan Lazard is his number 1. Are you out of your mind?
How many great wide receivers did Tom Brady have in New England?
How much did you drink at Brass Rail?
Please, how many great wide receivers did Tom Brady have in New England, besides Randy Moss that 1 year?
Apples to oranges, though, because you look at what Belichick put in play for 20 years. So it's like you have a system.
I thought Matt LaFleur was an offensive genius.
Well, Matt LaFleur has the ability to – well, he has the privilege of playing with one of the best quarterbacks in the last 25 years in Aaron Rodgers. Then they had Davante Adams. They had Zadarius Smith. Part of these decisions, and I'm saying in terms of agreeing with you, they're allowed to keep Zadarius Smith if Aaron Rodgers wants to take the discount and the discount double check. So you see what I did there? They're allowed to keep Zadarius Smith. They're allowed to keep Devontae Adams.
Yep.
They're allowed to draft certain different positions to help the franchise. But when you make it completely about yourself, when you make it about yourself, everything is about your bottom line, your dollar, what works for number 12, and not the other individuals on a team, in which it's supposed to be a team, like Bo Schemberger said. Then once it starts to unravel, see, when you're holding things together with Band-Aids and duct tape and glue and all that, and you're still out there, back-to-back MVPs, losing in the NFC Championship, we can forgive you and we can act like we can turn a blind eye to what's going on. But once that tape unravels, once that adhesive melts, and you start to see it, now it's like, you know what? I couldn't wait till he had a bad game, a bad season. All that, but this is what you get and this is what you deserve. We stayed off you because you were 13-3. We stayed off you because you were 13-4. We stayed off you because you were back-to-back MVP. But now as it's unraveling, I'm not challenging his greatness. I'm not doing that. But I am telling you, all the things that he's done in the last 2.5 years, now you're starting to see him come to the light.
Hey, he's reaping what he sowed. It's his fault. 100,000,000%.
Yeah.
He's reaping what he sowed. I guess you got to pay the devil sooner or later. So he's paying it now.
What? Why are you giving this guy an out? Well, honestly.
I'm not giving him an out.
Yes, you are.
I'm looking at greatness over the years.
2 sentences ago, you told me he's one of the greatest of all time. Now you're saying he's reaping what he sows.
Yeah, this year.
That's what you just
What's
said.
the matter with you?
You said the last 2 years.
Why are you arguing with me? I'm not saying anything that's not the truth.
Yes, you are.
Lions fans getting after it over here, man.
You're seeing it in the chat. Just in the WoodwardSports.com chat right now, too. Some people are saying, Maz, how are you defending this guy, but you bash on Brady? I mean, Brady has done nothing but throw for 100,000 yards in his career.
Oh, yeah. There it is. I love the fact that Tom Brady and LeBron James have played so long at such a high level. Every game, every minute on the court, on the field, they're breaking some record. Don't they have all the records yet? I mean, LeBron still got to break the points record.
Right.
I was like, what else can Brady achieve on the field?
But the difference is when I look at a Tom Brady and I look at an Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers was great 12 years ago. Tom Brady's been great his whole career, even up to last year. We can't have this conversation about what Brady's going through right now, even though there's people that are saying both of them are washed. Kurt Warner came out and said both of them are washed. Time to wrap it up.
Talking about Brady as well. You know what? I love Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner usually plays from a standpoint of, just some cool rhetoric, never like slandering.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord. You know that, but he needs to chill out on this because that last drive of Tom Brady was poetry in motion. Yeah. That last drive shows you why he's still Tom freaking Brady. But the Aaron Rodgers thing,
Rams stink too.
They do. They 100%
3-5 Rams.
Except for Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald.
That's it.
The interesting thing about the Aaron Rodgers deal is this. For years, everybody has been calling him the greatest quarterback ever. Or then the rhetoric became, because as they were trying to start that narrative, Brady just went on ahead and won 3 more rings. So then it was like, okay, okay. So he's the best thrower of the football ever. And it was always this infatuation with Aaron Rodgers. And the only pushback I ever had to that conversation is the great ones. When you start talking about the greatest of all time, when you start talking about GOAT or BOAT or Mount Rushmore, you know what all those guys in all those different sports, all those genres, all those positions have in common? It's championships.
Yep.
It's championships. And what did you do in the championship moment? And that was the one thing that always clouded me as it relates to Aaron Rodgers and me not being able to place him. Because I'm like, yes, in terms of his talent, he does not throw interceptions. He's probably the most efficient quarterback in NFL history. Like he's Aaron Rodgers, right? He's A-Rod. He's one A-Rod. But right. All those losses in the NFC Championship, and he's only been to one Super Bowl. Granted, he won that Super Bowl. That was always my pushback. Because if you want to say that, then him and Russell Wilson are the same. Russell Wilson got one Super Bowl win too. Well, and he's efficient as well.
That's that's what I was just going to say. Aaron Rodgers went from being one of the best all times to maybe not even being in the top 5 of his era. I mean, you could put Drew Brees above him. Like you said, you could put Russell Wilson above him. I could go on Matthew Stafford. There's 3 that I can put above him right now off the top of my head without doing any research.
All 3 of those quarterbacks you just named right now are butt. right now. Russell Wilson's having a bad year. Stafford's having a bad year. And so is Aaron Rodgers.
But Stafford won a Super Bowl last year.
This is true.
Rodgers, been 12 years, so we'll figure that out. Custom Health. Maz, you want to tell us about Custom Health?
I can.
How's it
because
going for you? How's it going, Maz?
I'm doing it with Ryan. I got all my supplements today. I started taking those.
Looking good, man.
Thank you, buddy. Ryan's doing really well. Ryan's down, I think, 11 pounds already.
Yeah.
I'm working on him down
He
a
looked
couple.
good in the suit on Saturday night.
Yeah,
by
he
the way.
did. He's getting compliments left and right. Custom Health Center is the place for you. Get your customized approach to weight loss. Think of all the ways that weight affects your health, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. CHC is blessed to have helped over 20,000 success stories. It's been their honor to help many professional athletes lose weight, including Rick Mahorn. Check out Rick Mahorn on TV. So start losing weight today. Call Dr. Jason and Custom Health. 844-789-8446. That's 844-789-8446. Get on it.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Whether you're a player or a fan, helping you buy, sell, or invest in a home is Mike Phillips' #1 priority. 23 years in the game, and guess what? He is #1 for a reason. Keller, Williams, Legacy, and Dearborn. Michael Phillips in the community over there, get down. You are his #1 priority. So if you want to buy, sell, or invest, call 313-403-0011. Game on.
Listen, of course it feels great. I'll be honest with you, I'm exhausted. So, like, I just, I want to go home, put the feet up, drink a beer, and just, so it feels real good. I'm just proud of them. I really am. I'm proud of our coaches. I'm proud of the players. I'm proud of everybody, because everybody puts a lot of work into it. I know it's only 2, but my gosh, man. And there again to see, end of the game, man, one stop, our defense comes through, I just think is, we need that. We needed that.
Dan Campbell talking about the victory yesterday for the Detroit Lions over Aaron Rodgers, crybaby ass, and the Green Bay Packers. Welcome to WoodwardSports.com. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards. Maz over there getting frustrated. We got JB, and we have Fletch in the booth. What do you think about those comments, Braylon?
You know what, man, I love to see it. And look, I'm critical of Dan Campbell because at the end of the day, when you're a head coach in the NFL and when you don't have success, and then when you do, make consistent mistakes, our job is to get on you and critique you. When something doesn't go right in the corporation, you have individuals that critique that process. But they won yesterday. They won an ugly game to a divisional rival and to a guy that has owned them for the better part of the last 12 years. I don't care what happened on Green Bay side. Detroit Lions and Dan Campbell got to win, and you see the jubilation, you see the exhaustion. It's all that rolled in one. This is a tough business. It's tough being a head coach in this business. It's damn sure tough being a head coach in the city of Detroit. But they got to win. You saw some young guys have success. Your #1 pick overall has an interception in the end zone, in the red zone. I ain't gonna lie, his hands look good. They may need to use him on offense, is all I'm saying. You got Kerby Joseph, your 3rd-round pick. Your secondary has been struggling this year. You fire your secondary coach was a deflection from Aaron Glenn. Because to be honest, everybody was calling for Aaron Glenn's head.
Yep.
So you fire Aubrey President to keep Aaron Glenn. And then obviously you get your 3rd-round pick. He goes out there. He has 2 interceptions. He has a huge deflection that was going to be a touchdown if he didn't deflect it. So that's a good look. Mitchell, your 5th-round draft pick that was injured out of Virginia Tech, on the heels of the trade, when everybody's scratching their head about T.J. Hockenson, well, Mitchell scores a touchdown. So it was a good win from the standpoint. 1, you won in front of your home base. 2, you beat a guy that's been kicking your ass for 12 years. 3, you saw some good movement by young players. And even in the 4 or 5 plays that DeAndre Swift played, you just see what it is when DeAndre Swift is out there.
Jerry Jacobs played well. That kid coming back, awesome. From Achilles last year, he's back on the field. Undrafted free agent last year, played awesome. Here he is again now. But if you get a chance, guys, watch the Detroit Lions. Go onto Twitter. Check out the Detroit Lions on Twitter. Go in there. They put up the 2 minutes in the post-game locker room. And Dan Campbell had the ball, had the game ball, and he was ready to be in tears again. And he was just so happy. The players were so happy. And he gave that game ball to Aaron Glenn. And they all jumped on him, and AG gave his spiel. And he basically said, we lived through you guys. We were players, but we're in this game because we live through you. That's why we're coaches, because we miss this. We miss this. The feeling to win a game is like nothing. Nothing is like winning a game. And the struggle like they have, and Aaron Glenn, and that defense has played good 2 out of the last 3 weeks now. So let's take our hats off to them. But if you get a chance, check it out. It's 2 minutes on Detroit Lions Twitter.
I definitely agree with Matt. Take your hat off to the Detroit Lions defense, because we've been crapping on them all season because they have struggled. I mean, they were on a pace to be historically bad, and they're still not far off, but they did buy themselves some room. But going back to just seeing Dan Campbell at the press conference, at the podium, you just see the look on his face of exhaustion, but at the same time, he's happy. You want Dan Campbell to be the one. That is why they defend him so much. You know why? It's because you know he cares about the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
You know he means what he says when he wants to be the one to change the culture. That hell, he was on the 0-16 team, so he knows.
Right.
He knows. So you want it to be him. The players want it to be him. So that's why you want to be patient with Dan Campbell, because of what he wants, what the players have bought into, and you're like, you know what? Moments like these, you're like, all right, maybe I might ease up on Dan Campbell a little bit, because you want it to be Dan, and I hope it's Dan, but I'm not going to stop doing my job.
Yeah, I wrote an article a couple weeks ago on WoodwardSports.com about how maybe Sean Payton would be the next head coach of the Detroit Lions if the Dan Campbell thing didn't work out. But the whole article was predicated on Dan has done everything the right way. And where do you go after a guy who's done everything the right way, got the whole city on his back, had the team buying in? He just can't get the wins. And when he does get the win, you finally see that raw emotion. Like, that guy feels it just like everybody else. He's not one of those guys, the L happens, he just goes about his day and goes home. You can tell it, like, physically hurts this guy. And you can tell when he wins, it's not even like a celebration for him. It's just I can take a breath for 24 hours and right back to work. And I love that out of him.
Yeah, it's a sigh of relief. Like, Dan Campbell's not approaching this from a business-minded standpoint. This isn't a job. This isn't a gig. This is life. This is what he breathes. He believes in. These are his young brothers, or his sons, if you will. The interesting thing is, you ask, where do you go from there?
Right.
If it doesn't work, you go to a competent coach. You go you go to a coach that knows X's. Exactly. Yeah. That has a resume, that knows X's and O's, and knows how to hire the right people if that's what it needs to take. But with that being said, we've talked about this last week, and you just look at it. Funny, the Lions win when you really don't want them to, and then when you do, they lose, because now you're trying to get your quarterback. But the Lions are set up for next year in terms of cap space, in terms of draft pick, cash cap, whatever the thing is called right now.
Draft capital.
I was struggling right now. My mind's in so many different places.
That's Neil's favorite word.
It is. That's all he knows.
Well, and the Rams are helping us out. The Rams could have a worse pick than the Lions.
Right now, Lions are 5th and 12th. Number 5 and number 12 as we sit today.
So that's the thing with Campbell is the Lions are finally, for the first time, set up, for the first time in the 3rd year of a new regime to be on track to build a structure.
Yep.
Because if you look at what's going on, Mitchell, obviously it was one pass, but it gives you hope. It was a touchdown. You look at the other young guys. Now you can bring some people in free agency this off season, not like last year. And then you have 5 of the top 65 picks in the draft. That's the right number of picks in the right number of slots to be able to go from 3 wins this year or 4 wins to next year in the NFC North that no longer has Green Bay, that Chicago is still trying to figure it out with Justin Fields, although it looks like they may have. And then Minnesota, you never trust Kirk Cousins. You could mess around and challenge for the Division North next year.
Yeah, they definitely could, and like you said, with all the draft capital that they have, and it's interesting because you look at a team like the Rams who sacrificed all their draft capital, and it paid off. They got a Super Bowl, but where the hell are they going to go from here? And then you look at a team like the Denver Broncos. They gave everything up for Russell Wilson, and that's not working out like Matthew Stafford worked out for the LA Rams, and so now they're going to struggle moving forward. And like you said, even talking about cap space, and that's one thing I was knocking the Packers about because, like you said, Aaron Rodgers doesn't take discounts. No. He's not a Tom Brady who will take a pay cut to help other teammates get on the team and keep the squad together. He won't do that.
Oh, now they're in a little bit of billionaire too. Huh? It helps when your wife makes just as much more money as you or more.
You mean his ex-wife?
Yeah, his ex-wife.
You're telling me the girls that Aaron Rodgers dating are broke? Shailene Woodley, the girl
single.
That's in all the damn movies, she got money, bro.
I know, but he's single, Stick.
Dude, you won't make up any excuse for Aaron Rodgers. Now it's Tom Brady's wife that caused him to be a better teammate?
I didn't say that. You're saying all the words. All I'm saying is 3 words.
Yeah, you said it was easier for him to do that because of his wife.
Yes, it is.
No,
it's a lot easier to take a discount when your wife is making more than you.
Oh, my God.
That's all I got to say.
And there may be some truth to that.
There is for me, guys like me. There isn't for a guy like Tom Brady who's making 20, 30, 40 million a year off endorsements anyways. He's not worried about Giselle's bank at that point.
I'm lucky enough that my wife is a teacher and she gets great benefits. So when I go for a job, I don't care that the company's got crappy benefits or they don't want to give it to me. So I'll take the X amount of dollars because my wife is making it.
For guys like us, that makes sense. For millionaires, man, come on.
Listen, the guy.
Yeah, but like I have to agree with Maz on this one in the sense that, look, when you know you're gonna make, like, let's say your contract, because Tom's never made 40. Like the most times ever made in a year was like 30, 34.
I'm talking about endorsements and stuff.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Just his contract. So if the Patriots are offering Tom, like, hey, look, Tom, we know you probably could get 38 on the open market, but how about we give you 30? Tom's like, fine, sure. keep the $8 million, because I know legitimately with off-field stuff, with endorsements, with deals that Robert Kraft is hooking me up in. See, that comes in other ways. Yeah, I'll sacrifice $8 million on the books. Meanwhile, Robert Kraft has me in some deal off the books that's making 16, 15, 20. So it's easy when you have that in terms of taking the break. But it still helps when you see the championship.
Isn't Aaron Rodgers getting Jeopardy money and stuff on the side? Wouldn't that make it kind of easier to take a pay cut?
They fired him for Mayim Bialik, a.k.a. Blossom. Well, look at that pull right there. Big Bang Theory.
Nice job.
Did you watch Blossom growing up?
Hell yeah.
Whoa. It was a solid show.
That's my stuff.
What was her friend's name? I had a crush on her friend. Six. I had a crush on her friend.
Come on, man.
Up.
I know my stuff.
Joey Lawrence in the building.
Whoa.
That's good. So, yeah, I mean,
I got to get the camera on and I do it.
We got to talk about the defense. We've spent a lot of time just going over the Aaron Rodgers thing. Sorry, we got kind of sidetracked with that. But I want to talk about Aiden Hutchinson specifically coming up next. And I want to talk about Kerby Joseph. And
don't forget,
we haven't mentioned Derek Barnes.
That's exactly where I was going with it.
He made some plays.
Because we had him on the show. We had him on the show last year after he had a couple good games and then he kind of backslid. But definitely got to talk about Derek Barnes. Six tackles,
yeah,
one
Derek
sack.
Barnes, nice insurance
and
policy.
And the Colts have a new head coach, by the way.
Yeah. We got to talk about
Let's talk about Swiss Insurance real quick and how they can help you out, just like Derek Barnes does.
Check this out. Swiss Insurance Group, they give you that coverage like my man Kerby Joseph. Swiss Insurance Group and their employees are heavily involved in their community. It is very rewarding, but comes with a great responsibility. If you sit on a local youth sports board, homeowners association, or a volunteer coach, directors and officers insurance is a must. Make sure the kids, parents, and volunteers are protected. Swiss Insurance Group. Help them protect you and your community.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Well, Kerby, yes, for sure. Only because Kirby's been, he's now for 3 weeks now, he's not come off the field, and we're just letting him grow. But he's been so close. I swear every week we talk about, man, he is, the first time he missed one of those interceptions, he was about an inch away, and then the next one was about half inch away, and so now he's starting to feel it. He's got a little bit of he's got some instincts to him, some ball hawk instincts, but that was good to see. And Barnes every week has improved. Every week he's improved, and we all want it to be at a certain rate, but the bottom line is he just keeps coming on, and it was good to see him out there running around. I mean, there was a number of guys, without watching tape, the whole defense I thought played outstanding, I mean, Will Harris was all over the field. I mean, so it was just, it was a great effort. I thought Alex played well. But look, the unit itself really, they took a stand today and won the game for us.
That is Dan Campbell talking about Kerby Joseph and the Detroit Lions defense right here on the WoodwardSports.com. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermanni today. Braylon Edwards up on the stage. Maz here, trying not to have an aneurysm. We have JB.
I'm going to get you guys some boxing gloves. I'm going to get you guys some boxing gloves and let y'all duke it out.
I just feel like me and Maz just have fundamental differences on how to operate.
Yeah, one guy is, right down the middle, even keel, knows what he's talking about, and the other guy is just out of his mind.
No. Hey, listen, one guy is here from Detroit and understands the nuances of our city, and, and the other guy's from New York and roots for the damn Yankees.
Maz has been here, he's been here 30 years.
Why are you root for the Yankees?
I've been watching football since 1970.
Got him.
All right, and you still think Aaron Rodgers is a good quarterback?
Of course.
He's getting.
I'm not an idiot.
He's getting under your skin, man. Don't sweat this guy over here, man. Don't sweat this guy, man. Don't sweat this guy.
Maz and Stick at the next UFC pay-per-view. Just saying.
I watched Cobra Kai season 5 last night.
Cobra Kai.
Loved it. I know I'm behind, but I'm catching up now.
I watched the first season. I was like, all right, cool. I got the nostalgia. It was cool.
It's way over. Yeah. It really is.
It's the best remake of anything.
It's still enjoyable. It's still enjoyable.
I don't have a problem with it. It was a little cheesy.
It is.
It was a little cheesy.
It is.
Well, let's continue to talk about the defense. Cheesy. Let's talk about Kerby Joseph.
Stick is my Terry Silver.
Let's talk about Kerby Joseph, and let's talk about Aiden Hutchinson, and let's talk about Derek Barnes. Once again, Brad Holmes has his fingerprints all over these picks.
Yeah.
This is his brainchild. We're starting to see the coaches put them in position to win, which is phenomenal. That's what you want to see out of your coaches with young players. Kerby Joseph, we mentioned his 2 interceptions, that huge pass breakup over the middle when he beat that down. I think he had like 12 or 13 tackles as well. Like, the guy just had an absolute monster game. And then we flip over and we talk about Aiden Hutchinson. That interception, probably one of the most impressive interceptions I've seen from a rookie in a long, long time. And fun caveat to this, that was Aiden Hutchinson's first interception ever. Not in high school, not in college. His first one ever came in the pros against Aaron Rodgers at the 1-yard line. But the multiple things I love about that interception.
And the thing about that, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, multiple things I love about that interception. one, the ability to read what's coming up behind you, pull off your pressure, back off, and be that drop defender. 2, the wherewithal to let your momentum carry you into the end zone, so you now get the ball at the 20 instead of just getting it at the 1-yard line. Because when you're going forward on 4th and 1 from the 1, a coach is thinking, worst case scenario, we don't get it, they're starting up back to the end zone. Yeah. That didn't happen. They got it, and they started at the 20.
Yeah, 100%. And the thing about that, you see how he caught it. He caught it with his hands. I mean, he might need to teach the Green Bay wide receivers how to catch. I mean, he snagged that thing just like this, caught out there with his hands, and like you said, let him his momentum carry him to the end zone. He needed that pick because outside that pick, Aiden Hutchinson, he's been pretty quiet.
Yeah.
Like, he's been very quiet. Doesn't get to the quarterback a ton. Doesn't create pressures a ton. Regardless of what that stat said, I watch the games. He doesn't create havoc, or he doesn't let you know that he's on the field. So that was great that he got that interception. As I'm looking at the guys you name, I'm noticing a pattern, it seems, with the Lions and Brad Holmes. Jeff Okudah, Ohio State. Derek Barnes, Penn State. Kerby Joseph, Illinois. Aiden Hutchinson, Michigan. Seems like they got the pulse on the Big Ten.
That's interesting.
It's just good to see your young players make plays, because we've been talking about the New York Jets all season as they got another big win over the unbeatable Buffalo Bills. We've been talking about their young guys. When you watch the Jets, you watch them have success. Early on in the year, Breece Hall was playing at a Pro Bowl rate. Zach Wilson struggling a little bit. Last game, Zach Wilson was lights out in terms of what they wanted him to do. Garrett Wilson, man, that dude is good. And then you look at Sauce Gardner.
Game changer.
Detroit native.
Game changer.
He didn't want to touch Josh Allen, by the way. When Josh was running it in, he saved his ass. He's like, all right, just score.
100%.
He ran the other way.
Sauce Gardner, your overall first pick, interception, did his thing in the game. And even Jermaine Johnson, a name that came up when we were talking about drafting an edge rusher, he got 2 sacks in the game yesterday. So you're watching all their young guys have success. You're like, damn, that's what we need. Well, insert this game. Derek Barnes, second-year player. 8 tackles. You look at Kerby Joseph, 8 tackles, 2 interceptions. Derek Barnes had a sack. You look at Aiden Hutchinson, interception in the red zone. You look at other guys, the young guys that Brad Holmes are drafting, they're making plays. That's what you want to see. That's how you get better. Next year, what you have to do, the big thing next year, you got to bring in key veteran pieces next year. It's not all about the draft, because when Seattle did this, when I was in Seattle, how Seattle kind of got turned around, they drafted their quarterback in Russell Wilson. They built the Legion of Boom through the draft, but they also brought in some key pieces. You bring in a Marshawn Lynch as your running back. You bring in Chris Clemens, your edge rusher. You still got to bring in a couple key veteran pieces to blend with your young team.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And quick correction: Derek Barnes went to Purdue, not Penn State.
Purdue, my bad. Yeah. The P's.
Yeah, when you're up here, live.
It happens.
It happens. But thank you to Woodward Sports.
Neither one of those teams beat me when I was in college, so it doesn't matter. P is a P.
But good news is it's still in the Big Ten, so it still proves your point that they're shopping around in the Big Ten right now. And Barnes, to me, it wasn't even the sack that he got. It was, I forget exactly when the play was, but he came up and filled the gap and just immediately stopped the running back.
He's a stout dude.
He won't be run over.
No, exactly.
And that's what I love about Derek Barnes, and the fact that we're able to talk about him, because last year it was, oh man, this is one of those second, third round picks. This was one of Maz's ammo guys. Second round, Holmes doesn't do so good.
We had him on the show after a couple good games, and then right after we had him on the show, like you said, like he struggled. He struggled Seattle, he struggled Denver, he struggled the rest of the season. But like you said, it's good to see him kind of get going, because they want him to be a guy. That dude is a stocking stuffer, as they say.
Yeah. Do you believe that Dan Campbell, I don't want to say became a better coach yesterday?
No, he made a lot more mistakes yesterday, too.
You thought he...
he rolled the dice again. Couple 4th downs. You're going for it at the end of the game.
I didn't love the first drive of the game.
You got Jack Fox, man. At the end of the game, you have Jack Fox.
Right.
I know 4th and 2, you lock up the game. 4th and 3. I know. First of all, it was a horrible play call. Horrible. But kick the ball and let Aaron Rodgers go 80, 90 yards. Instead, they gave him the ball at the 45. They lucked out.
What I would have to say is this. If I'm talking to Dan Campbell, what I would say about the aggressiveness, sometimes overly aggressive, a lot of times overly aggressive, I would say this. People get aggressive because, one, it's the new NFL. Everybody's going for it on 4th down. I saw some stuff last night where I was like, here we go again with this stuff. But it's the new NFL, so it's just natural instinct to go for it. Your players trust you, just like you trust your players, correct? Like, your players get excited when you go for it.
Even after but that's not getting it so many times.
But that's where I'm going. That's where I'm going.
Okay.
That's where I'm going. Players always want to go for it, right? But players don't always know what's best for what they want to do. Right. We're competitive. But just like your player, you trust your players. That's why you go for it on 4th down. You trust that you can get it. Your players got to trust that you're going to put them in the best situation. So what happens? Dan Campbell needs to stop approaching it from a 2-7 perspective, a 3-13-1 perspective. Because if you're building for the future, you got to start putting together your identity on who you want to be and the consistency now. So that first drive of the game, you look at how your season is gone, you don't take points off the board, especially against a guy and a team that you can't seem to beat. That's how you prepare your identity moving forward for when you actually have everything you need next year. You got to start giving your players a reason to trust you.
They obviously don't have the kicker.
What's that?
They don't trust the kicker.
Yeah,
it's just a fact.
But they were at the 1 yard line.
No, I'm talking about the first fourth down.
Oh, okay.
The first fourth down, they just don't trust the kicker anymore. They don't. And at the end of the game, if you don't trust your field goal kicker to get the 3, then just punt the ball. Jack Fox, you pay him all that money. Let him do what he practices 1,000,000 times a week and pin Green Bay inside the 10-yard line and let him go to distance. Next year, draft Jake Moody with one of your picks.
Oh, man, he missed two field goals.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It won't happen again, but
Right.
he did miss 2 field goals.
I didn't like him going for it on fourth down on the first possession, but I especially didn't like it because of the play calling. It's third and 4.
Yeah.
You run a little draw play to Jamal Williams, and it's like, okay, you ran the ball, so we kind of know that this was 4-down territory for you, right? So then you get into the 1 yard line, then you put your quarterback in the shotgun. So the 4 yards you just gained, or the 3 yards you just gained, you're giving the defense back by dropping back into a shotgun. I hate that. Pick up another yard. Use that offensive line. Battery ram those bastards.
Oh, by the way, your quarterback's 6'5". It's not like he's Tua. Like, he's not a short guy. He's 6'5". Like, just lean him forward. Just lean him forward.
Why don't the Lions quarterback sneak? Do you have a reasoning? Like,
well,
as a
Matt
former
Stafford.
player,
Hold on, Matt Stafford used to get. I think Matt Stafford is only second behind Brady in terms of 4th and 1 quarterback sneaks. So they used to go for it a lot with Matt Stafford on it. I don't know. Jared Goff just doesn't seem as fluid.
He doesn't have the hands.
That's what I was about to say.
Talked about his hands. But he does. He does.
Hands.
We're probably going to fumble the ball if they try to do something like that.
And Jared Goff's just not that type of. You know who's who the quarterback sneak guys are. You know Josh Allen's a quarterback sneak guy.
Yeah,
Tom Brady, who's deceptively the best quarterback sneak guy of all time. Matt Stafford, Raging Cajun, had big hands. Like, he's tough. He's a Texas boy. He's a quarterback sneak guy. Some guys like Jared Goff is like, just put me in the shotgun. Just put me in the shotgun.
But it's so amazing because you do see a guy like Tom Brady perfected it, and he doesn't just rush forward. Like, he takes
gets
the
like
snap,
3 yards,
pauses like for a quarter of a second, sees the push, and then just falls towards it. Like, I don't understand how Tom Brady's so good at it.
He's a touchback guy too. I mean, it's just like that. Everything works for Tom Brady except marriage.
Ouch. You know why it didn't work? Because his love of the game. And I could respect a man for that.
Hey, man, Billy Chapel, baby, for the love of the game.
Another interesting comment came out today by Ndamukong Suh. I don't know if you guys saw this, about Aiden Hutchinson.
I saw you write the article on it.
Yeah,
what's the Nebraska guy talking about?
I put up an article on woodwardsports.com. Someone mentioned that Aiden Hutchinson was the first Lions defensive lineman rookie to have an interception since Ndamukong Suh in 2010. And Sue replied, hopefully the GM and the front office build around him with the big eyes.
Yeah.
And to me, I implied that he was thinking the Lions didn't do the right thing with me.
Of course he did. That's exactly what he meant.
But they didn't.
Okay.
But they didn't. If you look at Ndamukong Suh's first 4 years, they rival Aaron Donald's first 4 years. And Ndamukong Suh was AP All-Pro.
He turned
year
that
1,
team.
year 2, year 3, year 4. He was Rookie Defensive Player of the Year 1. He finished 3rd in Defensive Player of the Year as a rookie. And Ndamukong Suh was the piece. They chose to pay Matt, they chose to pay Calvin, and they chose to give him the middle finger. And he was a guy that got that defense to a position in 2013 that they were comparable and may have been the second best defense in the league at one point in 13.
They were 14.
At 14, excuse me, 14.
Yep.
They messed over Ndamukong Suh, and so then after that, that's when you started getting him not talking to the media, him not wanting to be here, him doing little things here and there. They messed over Ndamukong. Let's call a spade a spade. It is true. They messed over a guy that is a generational talent that was on his way to changing the Detroit Lions franchise, and they just let him go out the door.
Yeah, well, when I saw that comment, I was like, ooh, Sue still feels some type of way about his exit here in Detroit.
That lets you know he wanted to be here. Everybody always talked about, because I know his sister Gum, I know him. Everybody always talked, Maz knows Gum too. Everybody always talked about, he didn't want to be here. And when your fan base gets a sense of that and they start spreading, it spreads like wildfire, and then your fan base turns on you, and then it becomes, effing Ndamukong Suh, he was a bad player anyway, he was always doing dirty stuff. Then it comes that, as opposed to knowing the truth was, well, they don't believe in me, they don't want to bring me back, so now it looks like I want to leave.
The WoodwardSports.com chat is people just saying that right now, bashing Sue, that he wanted to leave, and they're just saying he was offered the same amount of money, but he took that in Miami. Here's a quick thing you got to understand about the difference between Florida and Michigan.
No taxes.
Income tax, baby.
And at the same
Income
time,
tax.
this is where fans get it wrong. Because the same thing happened this past year with Devontae Adams leaving Green Bay and going to the Las Vegas Raiders. Everybody said, well, you know what? They offered Devontae Adams the same amount of money. He just clearly didn't want to be there. When you offer me the deal at the 25th hour,
right?
It's not the same deal. It's not the same deal.
When you bring your girl flowers after you messed up, they don't mean the same.
After the birthday, a day later, like when you bring me I'm telling you, the 25th hour is too late because that lets me know I wasn't a priority to you. So don't give me this stuff about they offered him the money. Yeah, you offered me the money at the 25th hour. I was done at 23 or 49.
Yeah, well, Braylon, we got a lot to cover coming up next, including your Swiss coverage of the week. But first, tell about our friends at SMA.
The Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about substance abuse and mental health. Their podcast, This is the S Word, and S Word stands for stigma, because that's what the Sports Marketing Agency, Sean Jordan and WoodwardSports.com are trying to partner to do. We are trying to destigmatize mental health. We're trying to let you know that it is okay to not be okay, but we're also providing you information. Sean Jordan does an amazing job. Go to thesportsma.com. If anyone you know or you need questions or answers, thesportsma.com.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Hey, only at Big Frog can you get yourself a free Woodward Sports t-shirt all month long at Big Frog in Novi. Stop in today, tell them we sent you, and they will hook you up by printing you one out right on the spot. We sent you. Yeah, so stop in the Big Frog in Novi today, or check them out online at bigfrog.com/Novi.
I mean, getting good with those reads,
guys, man. It's so hard, and you guys don't make it any easier, certainly. But it's so hard to continue to do that, and we just do. We just do. We'll never lay down, and I know there's teams across this league that will, and we're not one of them.
That's the fearless leader of your Detroit Lions right there on WoodwardSports.com. Jared Goff saying,
pipe down.
He ain't going to give up.
Did you hear him bust the media's chops?
Yeah,
it's like you guys make it hard, but he was laughing it off.
Who makes it hard is interceptions and turnovers.
Exactly.
But you know what? Listen, Jared Goff has been this up and down roller coaster with the Detroit Lions since he's been here. This season has also been up and down. When DeAndre Swift plays, he tends to play a lot better. When DeAndre Swift doesn't play, more is asked of him. We know what Jared Goff is. Jared Goff is a great teammate. He's a good guy. He's a stopgap player. He's a stopgap player.
He's a very good backup.
Exactly. You want him to you want him to be the guy because you want the decision to be easier. You want to be able to save a pick and not have to draft a quarterback. That's why you wanted it to work with Jared Goff. But the truth is this. Jared Goff is a great manager, which is nothing wrong. A lot of quarterbacks that won Super Bowl being managers. Nothing wrong with that. Jared Goff is not going to be the future. There's never been a play, there's never been a moment where you're like, yeah, that's him. Yeah, that's that guy. So for this team, He's very valuable, though, because he's been to a Super Bowl, because he's probably the oldest guy on the team, and he's only in year 7 or 8. Just think about how young that team is.
Crazy.
So he's a veteran leadership.
Right.
He's been to the big show. He's been to the big dance. He's been around, some of the best players to ever play, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey. So he provides that for the Detroit Lions now. He provides that growth now. But he's definitely not going to be a long-time decision for the Detroit Lions.
So even in the beginning of the season when the Lions were the #1 offense in the league, he was leading the league in air yards, you still weren't convinced that could be the full-time Jared Goff, that we're going to get in and out every week?
No, I wasn't. I mean, I thought it was cool to see, But still, as you break down those games, as you watch those games, he still missed a lot of throws in those first couple games when they were leading the league and all of it. He missed throws for first downs. He missed touchdowns. He still didn't look like a guy that he should look like in year 7. Like, he didn't look like that guy. He looked like a guy that, you know what, we can get through this year. And hell, maybe we can pull a move and get through next year. I don't know. But in terms of, you've missed out on so many guys now. You can't continue to do that. You missed out on Herbert. You missed out on Tua.
Malik
you
Willis.
missed out on Malik. Got him. No, you ain't get me. You got Ryan Ermanni. You got Ryan Ermanni with that Malik stuff. That backyard.
He almost is 2-0, by the way.
Yeah, he
almost 2-0.
But did you watch his Sandlot style play?
Does he have 10 completions in 2 games?
Yeah, he's not throwing the ball, but if they let him go, and he's learning. He's learning. He's a work in progress. Don't count him out yet.
I'm not counting him out. It just looks a lot. You know when you know.
Goff reminds me of kind of like what the narrative used to be about Stafford when he was here in Detroit. If he has all the right pieces around him, it'll work out. And we saw that when Goff had all the right pieces.
Stafford's different though. I never was the biggest Stafford fan, but I never was a hater. I always was honest. Yeah. Stafford is a natural quarterback boss. Like, he got a big arm. He's got confidence. You heard what Darren Orlovsky said in the meeting room. He said,
Orlovsky loves him some Stafford.
True, but the particular conversation that he talks about where he's like, man, I wouldn't even think to make that throw. He was like, yeah, that's why you and I me. Like, he's that quarterback, and that's a private moment. You don't see that of him in public. You don't see that when the leading and on how he does interviews, etc. But that's him. Like, he's got that moxie, that confidence, that Texas way. Everything's bigger in Texas. Jared Goff's got like that. Look, man, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't.
I'm from L.A.
Exactly, man. You guys ain't got no oceans around here. What's going on?
But I do like to give Goff the benefit of the doubt, man, because when you look at when an Amon-Ra comes back, when you look at when a Swift is playing.
Do you want to win the Super Bowl, or do you want to get to the playoffs? Let's just cut through the BS. Do you want to win a Super Bowl, or would you be happy with maybe winning round 1 in a wild card?
Listen, I'm a Lions fan. I'll start with a playoff win.
Well, keep Jared Goff. If you want to win a Super Bowl, Jared Goff's not your guy. Just that plain and simple.
Makes me think.
Facts.
What about Jimmy G? You think Jimmy G's the guy to win a Super Bowl?
If your defense is like it is, like,
okay.
In terms of with the 49ers.
And that's what I'm saying with Goff. Like, if the defense is right, the running game's right, he has the wide receivers, I think he could win a Super Bowl.
But the problem with that is, how long is it going to take you to get that defense right?
The
49ers defense is ready right now. Yeah. That's why Jimmy G works right now. But if Jimmy G was on this team, I would tell you the same exact thing. No, because Jimmy G will win you one playoff game, but he's not going to win you a Super Bowl. So I would tell you, yes, still draft Bryce Young or whoever you deem your quarterback next year in 2023.
A bunch of average quarterbacks have won the Super Bowl, but they've only won it once. They got in their team there, but it's mainly been the defense that has gotten there. Aaron Rodgers is an MVP, man.
Trent Dilfer, baby.
Please.
He's won 1 Super Bowl.
Brad Johnson. Yep. Those are the guys we're talking about.
I love
Joe Flacco.
Big Bad Brad.
Those are the guys. Don't compare those guys to Aaron.
Hey, I will say this, though.
I'm just saying, man.
I will say this.
You make yourself look like an idiot when you talk that way.
I don't want you to do that.
I'm here to try to protect you.
You're not protecting me,
I am. I'm trying to protect you.
Maz, if they have the same stats.
Not the same stats.
Maz, just look. Listen. Everybody has a right to think what they want to think. They can read what they want to read. They can push what they want to push.
What's he thinking when the numbers are right?
He doesn't like Aaron Rodgers. He effing hates Aaron Rodgers. Stop giving him the time of day. He hates Aaron Rodgers. That is it.
Okay. And facts of the matter are, Aaron Rodgers has only won 1 Super Bowl 12 years ago. I couldn't
even drink 12 years ago.
Yeah, Maz, can you at least acknowledge he only has 1 Super Bowl? Maz?
Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie?
Yes, he's won 1 Super Bowl.
And Brad Johnson has won how many?
It's a team game.
And Trent Dilfer has won how many?
It's a team game.
Stafford has won how many? Russell Wilson has won how many? 2?
He got 1. Lost 1.
I thought he had 2.
The infamous play.
Oh, yeah.
The infamous play.
Darryl Bevel and
you know what's funny?
Matt Patricia.
You know what's funny about that play? So obviously Pete Carroll tells Russell to go for he switches audibles to the slant to Ricardo Lockett. It gets intercepted, but Malcolm Butler is supposed to be a run to Marshawn Lynch. That's the second time that Pete Carroll has made that call and it didn't work. Remember the national championship game against Texas? They went for it on 4th and 1 as opposed to punting it. Something about those last plays of the game for Pete.
Well, and that was kind of the joke with the Packers yesterday, too. I mean, you have it at the 1 yard line. You have a pretty good running back, and you decide to pass it. And I get it. Aaron Rodgers is the greatest quarterback of all time, according to the man in the chair. But you still got to hand the ball. You still got to get a yard. You still got to get a yard.
Yeah, those situations, they're so taboo because it's like if you trick the people, everyone's expecting to run, and then you pass, you look like a genius. But if you go for it and you get stopped, it's like, oh man, well they could have passed. So it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Well, I'll tell you what we weren't damned with. The coverage of the week. And Swiss Insurance brings us the coverage of the week every single week right here on WoodwardSports.com. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. So, Braylon, why don't you break it down for us? What was the coverage of the week brought to you by Swiss Insurance?
Oh, yeah, you know what time it is. Finally, the Lions are on the right side of the Swiss Insurance coverage of the week.
This is actually coverage.
This is actually coverage. We're actually on the right side of it this week. It's going to be the main man, Michigan, as I'm wearing it right now. Even though he didn't want to cheer for Michigan, I damn sure did. Aiden Hutchinson coming off the end right now. They're playing man-to-man, zero coverage. Everybody has a man. Hit the next play right here. You know Aaron Rodgers is going to pass the ball because they haven't been running it. Aiden Hutchinson locks with the left tackle. Locks him out. He's assessing what Aaron Rodgers is going to do, and you'll see when he noticed Aaron's come back to him, he's going to shed the tackle, step into the passing lane. Hit the next slide for me. All right, here we go. He sheds the tackle, watching Aaron. He knows that something is coming. He can smell it. Something sneaky. You can see him starting to pivot. You see him trying to put that right foot in the ground because he wants the coverage, like Swiss Insurance. Next slide. Oh, he sees it. He smelt it. It was a trick play to Dave Bakhtiari. When he was locking him like this, he felt Dave not trying to block him, trying to get out of it. Smart man. That's called a Michigan degree right there, baby. Drops in coverage. Dave Bakhtiari is open right now, ladies and gentlemen. Dave Bakhtiari is wide open. He is going to have more touchdowns. I don't want to go there. Dave Bakhtiari is wide open. But guess what? When you got Aiden Hutchinson, you got the best coverage. Hit the next slide. Uh-oh. Look at the hops on this man. Gets in the throwing lane. You said something interesting about this, Stick. What did you say about Aiden Hutchinson and your analysis of him being able to read this?
Just from a rookie standpoint, him feeling that and understanding that coverage, it was brilliant to me. It was one of the best rookie interceptions that I've seen in a long time.
So this was not a good pass by Aaron Rodgers.
What?
But that's not the point. But that's not the point. The point is, my man gets up in the air. Billie Jean is not his love. But guess what? That ball is hit the next snap. Interception in the end zone. Aiden Hutchinson has as many interceptions as Jeff Okudah. That stat came to me by my man Nick Leach. Interception. This is what Swiss coverage can do to you. Thank you, Swiss coverage. Play of the week, Aiden Hutchinson.
Absolutely beautiful coverage by Aiden Hutchinson on that. And, I'm sure you played on the defensive side of the ball at some point in your career.
What? All state, baby.
Yeah, there you go. I was a defensive end in high school, and they always taught you whenever they leave you alone and you don't feel pressure, something's up. It's a screen pass, or even when I was playing defensive tackle, like if I'm not getting blocked by the guard, a trap's coming, man.
Yeah.
Like, be prepared.
Man, get out the way.
You're about to get blindsided, and Hutchinson had the wherewithal to back off, cover him, and like you said, he was open.
Yeah.
Rodgers had a bad throw there, but Hutchinson had a better play.
I agree with you 100%. And that goes to his intelligence. That goes to the level that he's at right now. It's a lot. You can, if you're in the flow of a game, Stick, a lot of times things that you watched on film, especially as a younger guy, you're so in the moment. You're focused on right now. What's going on right now? You're like a deer in headlights. But he had the wherewithal to feel the pressure. He felt something was shaky about what Bakhtiari was doing. He let Bakhtiari release, and then he stepped in and got an interception. That's a hell of a play by a rookie. But when you draft the guy number 2 overall, that's the type of what you want.
Well, maybe Aaron Rodgers can work on his arm, get a little better throw, get a little better height on it while he's.
Is there somewhere he can do that?
Fulling warehouse,
there it
man.
is.
Tell. Where should Aaron Rodgers go train?
Come on, man. Don't let him do it to you, man.
I'll tell you what, guys. The Folding Warehouse is a phenomenal place in Hamtramck. Talk to Chris Hutt. He invented this game of football and bowling. I wish he had axe throwing right now, and I had an axe in my hand right now, but I don't.
Yeah,
so
let's talk like Aaron Rodgers.
Let's talk bowling, okay? Check the history book, Stick. you idiot. Check the history books. The Folding Warehouse in Hamtramck, folks. 2 ways to play it. $12 unlimited open play and a private lane reservation. 10 to 12 of your friends. Don't bring stick with you. Actual friends. Bring them with you. You can have it for 2 hours and keep it for $120. That's right. 2 hours for $120. Split it up. That's less than $10 per person. How about the bar? You can order any drink you want. And, of course, if you want, you can even buy a stick of beer because they have over 100 beers to offer and the $2 mystery beer machine. That's all I'm giving him is the $2
Just make sure it's not some weak Aaron Rodgers beer.
That's all I'm giving him, folks. So get it on. Get your fold on at foldingwarehouse.com. God help me.
Get your fold on. It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron. Here we go. Got to grab the cranberry. Oh, wait, it's 2 for $4. Got to double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You can get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
For a limited time only, all new burgers and loaded fries at Big Boy. It's not a Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. Guess what else is new? The Bacon Blue. How about upgrading those fries? Chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, nacho fries, what will it be? Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
What's going on, everybody? JB here, letting you know about Planet Fitness and how they are home to the judgment-free zone, where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. The gym has always been known to be clean, but now it is cleaner than ever. With tons of equipment, a full-body workout in just 30 minutes in the 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training. The best part about all of this, you get it all just for $10 a month.
What?
Yeah,
That's
only
it?
$10 a month, guys.
I'm on the way.
All right, so join in club today or check them out at planetfitness.com.
Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
You into fitness?
I am. I am. Oh, you set me up there. I got it.
You weren't supposed to respond.
I got it.
How about fitness? Here we go. Welcome back to Woodward Sports.
It was a dirty joke. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a dirty joke.
Welcome back to WoodwardSports.com. It's a victory Monday. We're having a good time today.
Potatoes over there, you.
The Lions are now 2-6. On trail to be 11-6, rolling on into the playoffs.
Why does 2-6? Why does 2-6 in Detroit feel like it? Why does it feel like we're 5-3 right now?
Because yesterday felt like a double win, and I said that on the post-game show live from the Brass Rail.
Yeah.
I literally said I didn't go to Michigan, I didn't go to Michigan State, but I feel like in those rivalry games when your season's not going good, but you get to beat your rival. All of a sudden, you feel a little bit better about yourself.
Well, they went from the first pick to the 5th pick, so.
But once again, it's the Detroit Lions. What you want them to do, they do the opposite. You want them to win, they lose a bunch of games. You will say, oh, you know what? Well, we keep losing, we get our quarterback, they win. It's the Detroit Lions, man.
Yeah. Maz, you want to go around the NFL for the other games that happened yesterday? And by the way, shout out to Joe Mixon for winning me my fantasy football.
Oh, man.
You were one of the guys that had him for 55 points?
Yeah, he scored 57 in my one.
Unbelievable.
I'm going to tell you like this, man.
5 touchdowns.
I've gotten whooped in all my fantasy games. It doesn't matter. I don't even care anymore.
You're trying at least.
Yeah, but I am. I made some moves.
First time you ever did it.
Yeah, first time ever. You know what I'm saying? I had everybody on my team was in a bye week, and I didn't realize that till like Sunday morning. So I'm like scrambling. I have all this Scanlon and Mikael Hardman last minute. I had Julio Jones. So don't get me started on that.
I know people who scored for you.
But I hate all you guys that had Joe Mixon and Justin Fields. Any other freaking game, I would have been okay playing against Justin Fields. But the guy I played against had Justin Fields, and he had Derrick Henry. Just with those two alone, I was done for.
Yeah, I had Mixon and Mahomes going yesterday. So between the two of them, I got 100 points.
When's the last time a quarterback, Mazin, you can go ahead with the NFL, but when's the last time a quarterback threw for 444 yards and only had one touchdown?
Yep.
Like, that doesn't even go together. 444
and 60 on the ground. He was over 500 yards.
Yo, can we finally put this to rest? put this to rest. And I know Sam is listening. If he isn't, I'm going to tell him when I see him tomorrow. Flannel Sam. Shout out to Flannel Sam. Stop this madness that Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the NFL. Every year, they try to supplant whoever is the best in any sport. Every year, it's like, oh, man, this guy's coming. To be the man, you got to beat the man.
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes has been to 4 consecutive AFC championships, 2 Super Bowls, and when the lights are the brightest, he plays his best football. Can we finally put that to rest? Patrick Mahomes is the best player in the NFL, and to be honest, right now, it's not close.
He is damn good. 1-2 at least. Him and Josh.
No, he's
1-2.
one. Josh Allen, you know what? Josh Allen is a better quarterback in a better situation. Like, you look at the offense, if they had a running back, their offense is a better offense than the Chiefs. The Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. Patrick Mahomes better player. Josh Allen is
Tyreek Hill too until this year.
Now, if in 12 years Patrick Mahomes hasn't
well, he
done
got
anything.
Stephon Diggs.
So, Maz, let's go around the NFL. Go ahead.
How about those Jets? Jets pulled the upset yesterday.
I called it on Twitter.
They beat the Bills
before the game
20-17 at the Meadowlands. The Jets with the big win in that one. And not only that, Josh Allen hurt his elbow. So listen to this. Buffalo and Minnesota next week. It could be the complete opposite of the Minneapolis Miracle when these two teams play. Because if Josh Allen can't play, guess who will be the quarterback? Case Keenum, and who's the receiver?
Stephon Diggs.
It would be the opposite because they'd be playing against the Minnesota Vikings.
Good call by you. Going back to the New York Jets, let's put this in perspective. You know what the New York Jets did yesterday? They gave everyone in the NFL the cheat code to beating the Buffalo Bills.
It's on tape.
All you do is run the ball. They do not
keep it away.
They do not stop the run. They struggle in the middle. They're Mike linebacker. They struggle. They're giving up 4 yards per rush. All you do is keep Josh Allen off the field, because then when he gets on the field, now he's pressing, as you saw yesterday. 3 interceptions.
Yep.
Don't forget, he had 2 interceptions the week before. That's 5 interceptions in 2 weeks. They gave him the cheat code: run the ball, control the clock, and make them press. And they can't run the ball. They cannot run the ball at freaking all.
Alex Haggerty in the WoodwardSports.com chat right now gives us hope for Thanksgiving.
No, it does not.
No hope.
No, it does not.
It makes it worse, actually.
I told you I was going to talk about. I wasn't going to talk
about miracle.
I told you I wasn't going to talk about what Green Bay did wrong, but don't push me. Don't push me.
What else you got, Maz?
Vikings moved to 7-1, guys. I don't know how they win, but they win. They beat Washington 20-17 yesterday. Kirk Cousins 2 touchdowns. Jefferson over 100 yards and a touchdown. Even Hawk caught 9 balls for 75 yards.
Pretty good debut.
But how about the Vikings, man? They're winning with mirrors.
Yeah, amazing. He had 22 targets here in Detroit in his 7 weeks, and he had 9 yesterday alone.
Amazing when you use them.
Minnesota might be the most disrespected 7-1 team I've ever seen.
Yeah,
nobody gives them a chance in hell, and it's probably because of Kirk Cousins. He doesn't play well when the lights are on. But under Kevin O'Connell, it's different. They found different ways to get Dalvin Cook involved. You see the out and up for a touchdown, the last touchdown actually to win the game. KJ Osborne has been a heaven sent for them in the slot. Justin Jefferson is Justin Jefferson. The defense, you know what? One man's trash is another man's treasure. Green Bay gets rid of Zadarius Smith, and Minnesota picks him up. Minnesota is playing with a hodgepodge of former divisional rivals. Zadarius Smith, Green Bay, T.J. Hawkinson, Detroit.
Sometimes that's what you need, a bunch of cast-offs to come together, man.
This is
and
true.
Kirk Cousins in the locker room after, he looks like a good teammate.
On the plane.
Oh, on the plane. He looks like a fun guy.
I have that video. I will show it to you when we go around the NFL. I've got some more great stuff coming up here for you. 42-21 Bengals. We told you about Joe Mixon, 151 yards, and count them, 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, 4 rushing, 1 receiving.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
That was the thing. This is shades of the Danian Tomlinson in 2006.
I like that.
But this is what we talked about with Jamar Chase getting injured. Said Jamar Chase was going to be out 4 to 6 weeks, and if you looked at the Bengals' schedule, very easy schedule going through. They would be fine without Jamar Chase because you got guys like Joe Mixon, who's a Pro Bowler, give you 5 touchdowns. You still have Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins, and oh, by the way, Joe Burrow is your quarterback.
Patriots 26-3 over the Colts. Colts today fired Frank Reich, and they brought in.
Get him out of here.
Jeff Saturday will be the new interim head coach for the Colts. He has never coached, of course, in the NFL. He's a consultant, former All-Pro center. He's on ESPN. He's coached some small little school, maybe for like a year, way back in the day. It was a Christian academy.
He's a stopgap, though, to the end of the season, right?
They literally, when they benched Matt Ryan, we all called it.
Yeah.
They are in complete dump mode. They will be a top 3 team.
And is that
NFL.
experiment over, dumping Matt Ryan? Do you start him back right away? Because Ellinger is not a good quarterback.
They want to dump.
No, if I'm Matt Ryan, if I'm the Indianapolis coach, I'm like, look, how much can we pay you and just call the deal off? Like, let's let you go into retirement. Matt Ryan wants to be done. They need to be getting rid of him in Indianapolis. But as it relates to Jeff Saturday, this move, like you said, it's a stopgap. It's a guy that's been in NFL, or he's been a consultant to the Colts, much like a lot of guys are consulting with teams. They know the stuff. He's been on ESPN breaking this down for the better part of 7 years. He's going to go in there. He's a face that the Indianapolis Colts fan base recognizes. He's going to let the defensive coordinator do what he does. The offensive coordinator do the opposite of what Frank Reich was doing when he was in there.
Well, they fired him already.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Do the opposite of what they're doing. He'll be fine just for these 9-game period. And then, obviously, they'll try to go after Jim Harbaugh. Oh, what? Did I say that? Ooh,
hey, Jags beat the Raiders 27-20. Raiders up 17-0 in that game. Devontae Adams had a great first half. Travis Etienne, 2 touchdowns at the end to put that one away. Dolphins beat the Bears 35-32. Bears score 30 points again, back-to-back games. Remember the Cowboys beat them? Yeah. And now the Dolphins beat them. Tyreek Hill and Tua are hooking up mad.
We can get to the Dolphins in a second. The good thing about that, shout out to Luke Getsy and the offensive staff of the Chicago Bears. We have been talking about the negligence of Matt Nagy for the better part of 4 years now. We talked about it all last year. Everybody was ready to dump Justin Fields and say he was another Ohio State quarterback. And I said, you don't bring somebody out of college and change what they were great at, and which is why you drafted him. Finally, they are allowing him to use his legs, get out of pocket. He just looks like a more comfortable quarterback. But going back to the Dolphins, Tyreek Hill, offensive MVP, Tua, best QBR in the league, another 300-yard game. Tua Tagovailoa, ladies and gentlemen, is here, and he's here to stay.
Hey, a couple more before we take a quick break. How about those Chargers? They beat the Atlanta Falcons 20-17. Atlanta's in every game. Eckler 2 touchdowns. Seahawks over the Cardinals 31-21. Geno Smith has done it again. K9. He's best rookie running back. He's a top 5 running back. This kid.
I wish Breece Hall didn't get hurt, because it would be fun to see Breece versus K9 like through the rest of the season.
If you read WoodwardSports.com going into the season, one guy predicted that K9 would be the best rookie running back.
Damn.
Right here.
He's better than a rookie running back.
Don't sleep on Breece Hall, because he was on Pro Bowl pace till he got injured.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Hey, K9 wasn't playing at that point, though. Now he's playing.
Why is that?
Yeah, because their running back got injured. But, hey, best ability is availability.
This is true.
Bucks beat the Rams 16-13. They scored with 1 second left to win that game. They went 60 yards. And last night, Kansas City in overtime, come back, beat the Titans 20-17. Mahomes 509 total yards and a touchdown.
My only thought on that game has nothing to do with the Chiefs.
Titans a tough little team.
It has nothing to do with the Chiefs. It has everything to do with Mike Vrabel. Why is it that they go away from the run when the run is working? Last year, Derrick Henry comes back. Like, he fights to get back in the playoffs. He's trying to have his T.O. moment. He's trying to come back, get you guys to the Super Bowl, and you don't run him. Yesterday, he had 115 at halftime.
Yep.
Oh, excuse me, 95 yards. He had 95 at halftime with 2 touchdowns.
Feed the horse.
He had 17 carries. He was 12 carries, 95 yards, and 2 touchdowns at halftime. He finished with 17 carries, 115, and 2 touchdowns. And they still almost won. Feed the beast.
Yep, definitely. And speaking of feeding the beast, you want that new Corvette in your life?
Ooh, vroom.
Baby. We were out there on Friday at Les Stanford in Dearborn. They got them vets on deck. Plus, they got a ton of other cars if you're looking to get into a new vehicle. And they'll help you out with your lease. If you got something that you're kind of screwed on and you want to get a better deal, I was told November is the best month to get a car. That's what they said to us at Les Stanford on Friday.
November to remember.
So go there, Les Stanford in Dearborn off Michigan Avenue. Find new roads.
Find them.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions.
featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
At Alta, uptime matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. If you have a big project coming up, give Alta Rental a call. They'll got you covered. Call them today at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO, the number 2, Alta.
Go, the number 2. Just pause right there.
There's the number 2. That's the number 1 right there, buddy.
Hey-o. Hey-o. Gray sweatpants season is not only for the gentlemen. Welcome to WoodwardSports.com. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermanni today. That is Braylon Edwards. Maz is here. JB Smooth, running them beats right now.
Smooth
and of course, Fletch, with his beautiful flowing hair, is holding it down in the TD booth.
My hair is just as long as Fletch in my dreams.
In my dreams.
In my dreams. Like when I dream, my hair's long.
Really?
It is. I'm
right.
like Fabio.
All right. I can see it. I can see it.
Couple of those gray jogging pants.
my eyes are up here.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm up here.
Michigan played Rutgers this weekend. Actually, Michigan won. Michigan State won. The Lions won. Yeah. Everybody should be feeling good.
The Jets won. I'm in there, man. This is a good weekend for me.
Well, let's talk a little bit of Michigan. Rough first half against Rutgers. It was more one of those feeling out. It kind of reminded me of the game me and you went to up at Michigan.
Penn State.
The Penn State game. It's like, man, they should be much further ahead than they are going into halftime. I thought Rutgers had 1 yard rushing at the half. But then Michigan turned around in the second half. But then the ratings come out, the rankings, and Michigan's sitting at 3rd. Do you think that's the proper place for them to be sitting right now?
The answer is I don't care, to be honest.
Fair.
Is because it's going to come down to Michigan has to beat Ohio State, or Ohio State has to beat Michigan. But now, if I'm actually looking at it from an analytical lens, no, Michigan should be ahead of Ohio State, and this is why. Everybody is habitual. And what I mean by that, it's a habitual thinking process. Ohio State's been the shiznai in the Big Ten for the last 20 years, two decades, especially the last 8. So when it's easy to think of Ohio State and say, oh yeah, Ohio State has to be here. Oh yeah, Ohio State's putting up this. But if you really break it down, you say, well, Michigan, they struggled against Iowa and then they got it down. Well, they did this. Michigan beat Penn State by 24. Ohio State had to beat Penn State in the 4th quarter. You look at what Ohio State struggled against Notre Dame, who we know not to be that good of a school, although they did just get a good win against Clemson. They struggled against Northwestern, a team that's 1-8 now. They struggled. They had to go down to the 4th quarter to beat a team that's 1-8 in North.
Do you give the weather any part of that?
I ain't trying to hear all that.
Okay.
I'm not trying to hear all that. Michigan, everybody struggled this week. Everybody started slow, but Michigan finishes strong. You look at Michigan in the second half in the last 5 games, they're 60 to the opposition's 3. They're 60 to the opposition's 3. They're the number 1 running team in the country. And people want to say, like, oh, well, that's not going to beat them. When I say Michigan has to pass the ball, I'm talking about to beat Georgia. I'm not talking about to beat Ohio State. And you know why I'm not talking about that? How many yards?
What Northwestern just did to that ass?
And not only that, how many yards did Kate McNamara throw for last year when they beat Ohio State?
I saw you texted me back on that.
162, but they had over 400 yards rushing. They're the same team this year. They run the ball, they control the clock, they impose their will, and they got 2 damn good running backs running behind the best offensive line in football. If you want to look at analytics, if you want to look at what teams win, what Michigan wins by, if you want to look at what they do in the second half, if you want to look at how many first downs they got, then they should be ahead of Ohio State. But I digress, because it doesn't matter. Michigan can be 2, they can be 1, they can be 4. Whatever they do on
6.
Whatever they do on November 26th is gonna be the cooker. They got to beat Ohio State to get in. But here's your final. You ready for this? Here's the Final Four for you. I won't even tease it. I won't wait till later. I'll tell you right now. It's going to be number 1 Georgia. It's going to be number 2 Michigan. It's going to be number 3 Oregon, and it's going to be number 4 Tennessee with 1 loss. Because TCU will lose 1, and they will not put a 1-loss Big Ten champ over Oregon, who's going to beat USC in the clutch. Tennessee is going to sneak in. So Georgia, Tennessee will represent the SEC,
like
Michigan, and Oregon. Because Oregon is on fire.
Listen, if Michigan beats Ohio State.
You mean when?
Yes, when they beat them. I still think Ohio State could get in. That's how weak I think the remaining 4 or 5 teams below them are. I don't believe in Oregon.
Ohio State won't be able to get in. 1, because they lost. 2, they're not champs. 3, Oregon will beat USC. USC right now is 6.
Would you rather see Oregon or Ohio State at a playoff?
I'd rather see Oregon.
Why?
Because I like the school. I like Oregon. Like, you're telling me it's a team in Oregon. Like, USC right now is number 6 or number 7.
They stink, too.
It doesn't matter. It's where they're ranked, man. Like, it's where they're ranked.
I watched them against Cal on Saturday.
Ohio State doesn't have any quality wins.
That's because Smith and Jigba hasn't been on the team.
What does he have to do with quality wins? I'm talking about
that's another 21 points a game.
I'm talking about who they've played. I'm talking about who they played. They haven't played anybody.
That's the Big Ten's fault this year.
No, but it doesn't matter whose fault it is. It's just a fact. When you look at Tennessee is going to have 1 loss, and it's to the number 1 team in the country. And, oh, by the way, they beat Alabama, who was number 1 at the time. I get it. Bama's 10 now. But they still beat Bama. And, oh, by the way, who's the number 7 ranked team in the country? It's LSU. Guess who beat the brakes off them, too? Tennessee. So Tennessee will sneak in based off their record and based off, like, the strength of schedule, if you will.
I'm just saying, personally, I'd rather see Ohio State get in there than watch Oregon.
No, you know what? No, because we beat Ohio State. I don't want to see you again. Like, you didn't play anybody this year. We beat you. Good riddance. This is a payback for 2006 when we lost to Ohio State in the 1-2 game, and we didn't make it to the national championship. Florida lobbied, the president lobbied in Florida, and ended up being Florida, although they beat the brakes off Ohio State.
I got a question for you, Braylon.
I got an answer for you, Stick.
All right, good. Michigan has been prolific at running the football this year, almost to the point of they don't even need to pass, and they haven't really worked on the passing game. Thought against Rutgers they tried to pass the ball a little more, and JJ did not look like he's able to deliver, at least against Rutgers.
Yeah.
If they're playing Ohio State and they have to give up on the run and turn to the pass, do you think Michigan can win that game?
The answer is I don't know.
Okay.
The answer is I don't know, because like I was telling you, like I keep saying, Columbus is a different place to play.
Right.
It's one thing to play Ohio State in Ann Arbor. It's another whole thing when you got to go down there to Columbus with those yahoos, those wild, the wild fan base. They're crazy down there. But it's tough. I don't know that you can. The biggest issue now is they run the ball so effectively and so efficiently, and then they use JJ for such short passing plays. Like, their average completion by JJ right now is like 4 yards.
Right.
So he's only averaging 4 yards, which is not a hard thing to do. And they only take a couple shots downfield. So he hasn't gotten into a rhythm all year. I keep going back to this. When I played with Chad Henne, which was his freshman year at Michigan, great. Like, you say this is a good wide receiver core. So before everybody said, well, it was you and Jake. Well, they said this receiving core is good, which they are. You got to be consistent in how many attempts you take down the field, or even intermediately. I don't need you to keep throwing a bunch of 9 routes or post routes. You can throw intermediates on the big end routes, 15-yard end routes, some comebacks. I haven't seen him throw one comeback this season, or one out route.
A timing route, right?
The timing route.
Yeah.
So, when you don't do that consistently, like, you're not working on it. It's one thing to do it at practice. It's another thing to do it in practice, in Skelly or, in team. It's another thing when you do it in game, and they haven't passed down the field, whether it's intermediate or longer, consistently. Like, he doesn't know if he can do it.
That's the thing, but it's almost fool's gold because you don't have to do it, right?
Until you do.
Until you do, and that's what I'm worried about. When they get to the point when they have to do it, are they going to be able to? And Mark Royal in the WoodwardSports.com chat, kind of having the same conversation, asking you the question, Braylon, can you tell me if JJ or the wide receivers not getting separation from the DBs? Because every throw I see that is the catch, it's always contested by the DB at the point of the catch.
Or it's overthrown.
Their offense looks different because early on in the year when Roman Wilson was open, Ronnie Bell was open, JJ missed maybe like the first 5 weeks in a row. JJ missed at least with at least 1 to 2 passes down the field where guys were open. Those guys were open. They were getting separation. I also go back to this. You know, we talk so much. Well, the defense is playing so well. So, you know, you don't really talk about Jesse Minter, or you don't talk about him actually taking over for McDonald because he's done such a damn good job. But on the other side, Josh Gaddis was a guy last year that created some offense. Like, finally his offense, his system was able to work. First 2 years he struggled. The offense was iffy at best. But then last year he turned it on, especially from the halfway point to at least up to the Georgia game. The offense hasn't looked the same. You got 2 guys. You don't know which one has autonomy, which one has the veto power. Joel Klett, Fox analyst, talked about this. He asked him, which one of you guys got the power? Well, he's a coordinator. I'm a coordinator. We're both coordinators, which means that neither one of them have veto power.
You don't got one.
It's hardball.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting to see that dynamic since Gaddis is lost. And I just don't think they have the pulse on the complete identity of the team. We know they're going to run the ball, but you got to be able to do both, especially to win a national championship. Like, you look at Stetson Bennett last year going into the Orange Bowl and then going into the national championship. Stetson Bennett wasn't out here throwing for 340. He wasn't out here throwing for 312. He was a game manager that was averaging just like K, right around 212. But they opened it up for him last year, and they haven't looked back since.
Hey, just go back just for a second.
Yeah.
Go back to your Final Four again.
Yeah.
Why would you put Oregon in there when they lost by like 50 already to Georgia?
They lost by 43, and because it was the first game of the season. That's 4 months ago.
I know, but
those early losses are easier to recover from.
You want to see that again?
Maz, that's 4 months ago. They're not the same team. If you pay attention to what Bo Nix has done since that loss, they are rocking and rolling.
Okay, what's the spread then if they play each other right now?
If Georgia plays Oregon right now,
it's 24.
No,
That's what it will be.
It's not 24 because they're not the same team. Like, my freshman year, my junior year, we lost early to Oregon. When we played Ohio State, 3 months later, we weren't the same team that went out to Oregon and lost. We were a different team. When we came back three months later and played Ohio State and beat the you-know-what out of them, we were a different team. I don't fault them. Now, it sucks that they did that, and it's going to hurt them. But they beat USC. Tennessee's already down. If TCU loses one, I can see Oregon get in there, and I'll give them. They're not the same team.
You know what it's like? It's like when you walk into Lady Jane's not looking good, but by the end of your visit, you look phenomenal.
See?
And that's exactly
You did a 180.
You did a 180. And that's what happens when you go to Lady Jane's. They got locations all over Metro Detroit and all over the United States. So even if you're traveling, you can still look crispy as hell. And it's wicked awesome. You can walk in anytime. They will treat you like a king. Get those precision haircuts. Walk in anytime at a Lady Jane's near you. Once again, it's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
Wicked.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Welcome back to WoodwardSports.com. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermanni today. He will be back tomorrow, and I'm sure he's going to want to talk a lot more Michigan football. Got to say what's up to our boy Ryan. And the Chubby Charlie's in the background. I got some pickle pizza tonight, maybe with some Monday Night Football.
Can Lady Jane's make my hair look like that?
I'm sure they can.
Get me hooked up.
That's right. Monday night tonight. You got the Ravens football and the Saints.
That's right. Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey, JB Fletch is here.
Pay the man.
We've gone through the whole show. We haven't even talked about the best team in Detroit.
The Red Wings.
Detroit Red Wings. Maz. Talk to me about the Red Wings, buddy.
They're unbelievable. They beat the Rangers yesterday in overtime at the Garden.
And the Rangers were picked early on to make the Stanley Cup.
I still think they'll be right there for the Cup. But they are just kicking butt. They win 3-2 yesterday. And they are right now second best record in the East with 16 points. The Eisner plan is starting to click in. You heard Darren McCarty the whole time. Watch out, watch out. You got to believe, you got to believe. I know they're still a ways away yet, but not bad. That's a hell of a start for that kid, for that team. Best start since 2010.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about bringing in the GM, front office people. In this case, Steve Yzerman, who needs no introduction, number 19, captain of my captain. Like, he bring him in. You see what he's done down there in Tampa, turn that team around, winning 2 Stanley Cups, although he won 1, but he set them up to win another one, and they almost won a third one last year. They almost three-peated. So you look at that, he comes here, and he starts making moves, man. You draft Lucas Raymond, you draft Moritz Seider, then in all season this year.
He's a Harry Styles lookalike, by the way.
He definitely is.
Seider.
Good call by you. You struggled last year in goaltending. You were giving up 4.5, 5.5 goals. You bring in a goaltending coach, Alex Westland, this year. They've not given up as many goals this year.
Him.
I do because I liked the Red Wings a lot last year. They scored in bunches last year, but they were also they scored 7 and give up 8. Like, that's what they did last year. So I thought that was a huge move. You bring in Husa, you bring in Sherrod, you bring Husa, you bring in Kyle, and then also you're riding the wave of 25 years later. They celebrate 25 years in '97 on Friday. They celebrate 24 years essentially on Saturday with the '98 team. Like, all that magic and all that chemistry, all those people there. Like, Steve Yzerman's there. Like, those players know who the hell Steve Yzerman is. Like, they know who that guy is. It's just like playing for the Pistons in 04. You know who Joe Dumars is. Right. When you have that cachet around. You got D-Mac who's down there every night. Shout out to my boy, my brother D-Mac. That's a real deal. When you can see guys, like, and I hate the school, but that's when you have success. Like Ohio State. Ohio State always keeps their players around. They always keep they plug them in as coaches. Brian Hartline's a wide receiver coach. He's a national champion winner.
I mean, people were calling for you in the WoodwardSports.com chat to become the Michigan OC.
Next head coach.
No, but I love that family atmosphere, right?
Yeah.
And, D-Mac, we're so lucky to be able to work with him here at Woodward Sports. And he was talking earlier today because some of the people were asking him in the WoodwardSports.com chat if, like, the new players recognize the old players.
Hell yeah!
And that's what he said. It was just nothing but love. They all know who he is. They all know about, like, the story behind how the Red Wings got to that '97 Stanley Cup championship. And just to be able to walk around that arena and feel that love from the young and the older end, it's a beautiful thing, man. And that's the cool thing about championships, and that's the good thing when you do win those.
Right.
No matter what happens for the rest of your life, no one can take that away from you.
If I give you an example, if I'm a young football player right now and I get drafted to the Denver Broncos, okay, and John Elway's around, Shannon Sharp's around, Rod Smith, like Terrell Davis. You know who these guys are.
Right.
They're back-to-back Super Bowl champions. You know, Terrell Davis, the Mile High Salute. You know, like, dynasties. You know, like, Hockey Town. Like, Hockey Town. You're talking about the Red Wings, who are arguably, the second or third most storied franchise in all of hockey. You're talking about
Original Six.
Exactly. Right. You're talking about what they built in that '90 snapshot. Like, that's insane. 4 Stanley Cups, the players that came out of that, the trophies, the awards, the memories, the fights, the scraps, the unrivaled. Like, everybody knows who the hell Darren McCarty is, and Brendan Shanahan, and the list goes on. To be around those guys on the daily as young guys, that's invaluable.
And don't forget, they celebrated the '97 and '98 championships this past weekend. On Thursday, they win that game. On Saturday, they win that game. And then yesterday, they go to New York and win that game. So hats off to the Wings. Pistons play at home tonight. They got the Thunder coming in. And college basketball tips off tonight. It's official. Michigan, number 22 in the country. They are going to host, who do they get? They get Purdue Fort Wayne.
Ooh.
And unranked MSU gets Northern Arizona. My daughter Lil will be at that game over at the Breslin. So college basketball is back. Everything is running now. Baseball is in the rearview mirror finally. Saturday night, the Astros, they did, I guess.
Told you.
They dominated. They win the World Series. Congrats to Justin Verlander and Jeremy Pena. Rookie takes over for Carlos Correa.
25 years
old. He won
old.
the NL When they won
NLCS.
when they won the American League Championship Series, he was MVP.
Yep.
And he's MVP of the World Series. Young kid.
25 years old.
Isn't that something?
But it's very similar to Aaron Judge. Like you keep these guys in the farm system, you keep them down there for years, so you can keep them cheap labor, and then you eventually grow them, and then you bring them up to take over. But you were talking about the Astros. Shout out to Dusty Baker, okay? Dusty Baker.
Everyone loves Dusty.
The oldest coach in the 4 major North American sports to win a championship at the age of 73. You're never too old to live out your dream.
He's a young 73. How about Mattress Mac?
That's talking all that trash.
He made himself $75 million. Not that he needed it.
I feel
that's what he's got.
$75 million.
What did he put? $1 million on the Astros?
10 mils.
$10 million on the Astros
At the beginning of the season.
To cash in.
Can you imagine just having $10 million to throw on anything? Just like, if I lose, nah.
Can you imagine having the million? But the thing about it is, are people sleeping on like is mattress business that lucrative?
Mattress is stuffed with money.
Yes. Exactly. That's a front. Like trust me, I'm from the way. I'm from around the way. I know a front when I see one. Barbershops.
We gave Verlander his flowers for getting his first World Series win, and I wrote an article about that on WoodwardSports.com. We threw it up over the weekend, and I asked the question: does that save his legacy? And people went nuts. His legacy is already one of the greatest pitchers of all time. It's like, yeah, but you always could have that conversation, but he never could win a World Series game, and that's part of your legacy.
Yeah.
Now you can't have that conversation. So to me, it validates a lot. Yes, he was already Cy Young winner.
Yeah.
Yes, he was already Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
But now he can't be Dan Marino, where you're like, yeah, but Dan never won the Super Bowl. You know.
Here's the thing. 2 things about that. One, this was a good validation because not only did he get a win, but it was with this team that's not a cheating team. Like,
not that we know.
Well, yeah, but
not that we know of yet.
Not that we know of yet. The 2017, even though they won, it's so many asterisks and frowns and etc. This was a good win because this is out of that era. This is out of the shadow of that. But I will tell you this, and we've talked about this at great length. Detroit fans, be careful, because if he wins a Cy Young next year, and they mess around with another World Series, or he just wins 20 games in the Cy Young.
He's going to win the Cy this year.
I know, but I'm saying that he's going in the Hall of Fame as an Astro. I'm telling you, be prepared.
Can you think of a worse trade in Detroit sports history?
That's up there.
Honestly,
this is up there.
The problem with that trade is it was when they did it. Like they should have traded him 2 years prior. When he really started kind of a couple injuries and he wasn't necessarily 19, 20, 18 game. They waited and then he messed around and got good again.
Right.
And then they traded him. So it was a timing, but you're right, it's a horrible trade. Terrible timing.
Yeah, honestly, if I look back in the history of Detroit sports trades, that's the biggest fleecing that's ever happened to us. We traded away a future Hall of Famer, a 2-time World Series winner now, for guys that aren't even in the league.
And you let Max Scherzer walk.
Well, yeah, and David Price. And
David
Fister,
Price was the beginning of the end here.
And Fister went. And Porcello went.
Robbie Ray.
Jeez, I could
Keep
do this.
on going.
Anibal Sanchez.
Castellanos. Well, didn't have a good year. But
hey.
J.D. Martinez.
Hey, hold on. The Red Wings won yesterday.
Yeah.
So did the Lions. Let's get back on track.
Well, let's tell them where to get a good tan, Maz.
Absolutely. Chili Peppers Tanning, 27 locations. More on the way. And if you go there, you're going to get the cleanest salons in the D. And if you join the Pepper Club, they'll save you $5 against any competitor on unlimited tanning. They got all the best products there for your skin. And make sure they take great care of you, too. The Chili Pepper girls will tell you how it is. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans, your vitamin D headquarters is ChiliPeppersTanning.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
I'm Dr. Jason Olafson, DC, the founder of the Custom Health Centers, and we've helped thousands of people learn how easy it is to lose weight and keep it off with our customized weight loss and body contouring programs.
With Custom Health, you don't feel hungry, you eat well. My name is Simeon Timbuk, and I lost 71 pounds on the program.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit customhealthcenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Citron is the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings, who now 3-0 in their last 3 games. Shout out to the Detroit Red Wings and the Iser plan. Citron has teamed up with WoodwardSports.com as well as the Red Wings to offer you a limited edition 6-pack of their best flavors. The cranberry, the sugar-free, and the original. CitronWorld.com/Red Wings is where you can go get it. They have partnered with the community so that they can re-energize Detroit. So let them drink it, live it. Citron.
Welcome back. It's WoodwardSports.com. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermanni today. Braylon Edwards, Thomas Mazawey, JB, and, of course, the one, the only, Fletch. We got about 6 minutes left in the show. Maz, I was hard on you earlier for your opinions of Aaron Rodgers. As wrong as they may be, that's okay. I'm going to let you live in that world. How do you want to spend these next 6 minutes?
Well, let's talk about tonight. We've got Monday Night Football, last game of the weekend. Was a pretty good weekend. I'm done with the buys, by the way. The buys kill me. Because yesterday, we didn't even get a doubleheader on one channel yesterday. You had one game on CBS, one game on Fox only. That hasn't happened all year.
Yeah.
You usually get at least 2 on one. But there's only 2 4:00 games yesterday.
That's why you watch. That's why you watch it on the Red Zone.
I know. I'm not a Red Zone guy. It's like ADD, but nonetheless, let's get into it. Saints hosting the Ravens tonight.
The Ravens.
And New Orleans is actually favored in this game by 1.5. You know it. The Ravens stuck again. No running game again. J.K. Dobbins is down. Gus Edwards. Gus Edwards, I don't think, is playing either. They have Kenyon Drake. They have no receivers.
Yeah,
you're down Rashad Bateman, and you're down your best tight end.
Mark Andrews.
And Mark Andrews.
But you have Likely.
You got Lamar Jackson, and you got Likely. That's right.
I think Likely will have a big game tonight.
I'm playing against Likely tonight. And who else am I playing against? I just said it before. Nonetheless, I got Lamar going tonight. Who do you guys like in that game tonight?
Man, it's like damn if I do, damn if I don't. I'm not picking Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle. You can't pick against Lamar Jackson, especially playing against a team in the Saints that have been just up and down all year, haven't found their identity. They don't know what the hell is going on, if they're coming or going. Then randomly they get a shutout last week or the week before. I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson, simply put. This is still a man on a mission. They may not have Rashad Bateman, they may not have J.K. Dobbins or Mark Andrews, but this is nothing new to Lamar Jackson. Same thing happened last year, same thing happened the year before that. He's used to guys going down. I'm going to be interested to see how he plays this one, though, because he struggled in the second half of games this year a lot. He's also struggled in the fourth quarter, being very indecisive.
Yeah, he hasn't been great the last month.
100%. He started off as our MVP, and he's kind of faded out of the top 10. So it's going to be interesting to see how he plays from a aggressive/conservative standpoint, considering a lot of his stars are out.
I think they're going to have a hard time tonight beating the Saints, especially the spread tells me it's 1.5. To me, I'd put $1 million on the Ravens if you're just going like that.
Yeah.
But something's rotten in Denmark. Look for a Saints upset tonight. We told you earlier today, Frank Reich let go by the Colts.
He gone.
And not only did they don't bring in, they got 2 guys on staff that were head coaches in the past. They don't go to either one of them. They go outside the box to their former center, Jeff Saturday, who was an ESPN commentator, and of course he's been helping Jim Irsay and the team. He's been, what do they call those? Consultants type guys.
Chris Spielman.
He has no coaching experience.
Right.
He's the interim head coach. What's up with that?
It'd be like if they named Spielman, and I'd be okay if they named Spielman.
But he's never a head coach either.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It'd be like would you be okay with that?
Well, I love Chris Spielman, so don't tell me.
That's how Indy fans feel about Jeff Saturday, I'm assuming, right?
And at the same,
you're right.
And at the same time, if you got 2 guys on staff that have been head coaches before, if you make either one of these guys the coaches, and if they do good, then you get yourself in a pickle where it's like, oh, shoot.
That's true.
It's like, oh, shoot, this guy's won 7 out of 8 games. Should we keep him on? You'll have the same situation as what happened last year with the Las Vegas Raiders. Remember, they put the interim guy in there, and then they actually fell in love with him.
Rick Bisaccia.
And then they fired him. Or essentially they fired him. So you don't want to put yourself in that position. You want the next young Sean McVay or your Kyle Shanahan. You're trying to find that guy fall off a tree, pick that guy from somewhere. So you don't want to put one of those guys in there and then have to deal with that later. So
if Indy was smart and they wanted to sell tickets, they should have named Pat McAfee coach. Just for the remainder of the season. Imagine that.
I got one.
Why
better.
would he leave his multi-million-dollar job?
I got one
He
better.
could do both.
I know.
I would say Peyton Manning.
Oh, wow.
Peyton Manning.
Peyton's going to want a piece of the pie, though.
Hey, Peyton's the only person that doesn't need any coaching experience. He could be my head coach right now.
It was funny.
He'd be my head coach right now.
When Joink was on WoodwardSports.com back with Belizean in the day, he would talk about how Peyton Manning, he didn't even know who the OC was when Joink was in Indy. He's like, I couldn't even name the OC. It was Peyton Manning.
Bro, like, this is I'll break down Peyton in 15 seconds with a story. I'm at the Pro Bowl. Pro Bowl is super lax. Like, I'm talking about practices with 30 minutes. We were out there jogging. You literally start practice 9:30. We're at the pool drinking Mai Tais by 10:15. Peyton still was out there in practice with the, like, we had a little script. Everybody knew the plays. Peyton was out there. All right, he said, Braylon over there. I need Chad over here. Hey, we're going to go right. I'm like, yo, Peyton, you're doing too much. I said, this is the Pro Bowl, man. Chill out and relax. Peyton is like that, though, man.
Tom Moore, by the way, was the OC, and he used to be, in the 90s, the OC here for Detroit when they had that great offense with Barry and, of course, Herman Moore, Johnny Morton, Brett Perriman,
there you go.
all those guys. So Tom Moore was the OC when Peyton was there.
Well, don't tell Joink that because he still doesn't know who the hell he was playing for. Thank you guys for being a part of the show today. Victory Monday, so fun around here. Ryan Ermanni
Everybody won.
Yep, Ryan Ermanni will be back tomorrow. Yep, Michigan State won. Michigan won.
You get a win. You get a win. You get a win.
And for the first time since '97, the Lions and the Red Wings won on the same day.
Wow.
I believe that
97. That was a magical year.
I believe it was 97 or 17. One of those. It ended with a 7. But either way, it hasn't happened in a long-ass time.
I would say 97.
You guys have a great day. Everybody have a great day. Unless your name is Aaron Rodgers. You suck, and goodbye, sir.
Can't lose a game like that against that team, though.